Why, hello everyone, and welcome on in to our second cup. It is the Green Cup, here as part of the Inkfest competition, wonderfully provided to you on stream by the Splatoon community, and of course in association with Gfinity. I am your girl TK Layla, and joining me on commentary is the wonderful Louis Boy. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. It's good to be here with you today, Layla, and hopefully we can have some awesome matches today. I'm sure we will.
I'm absolutely certain we will. We've got 5 teams ready to do battle in this double elimination tournament to decide which team will be walking away with 1,000 Nintendo Gold points each. We know that the team that won this last time round, Chewits Mafia Pickup Group Magic, have slightly adjusted their name because now it reads Me When I Chew It, and they are going to be going in to go up against Squidnappers in our first match on stream today. Is the first of our 2 semi-finals. The second one is yet to be decided, as the awesome team will take on the winner of Splattershore Riders and Affordable Alliteration. We'll get that match and the results to you a little bit later down the road. But all of our matches here today will be best of 5s, and obviously we'll talk you through all of the action as it progresses. But between these two teams, any chance for Squidnappers to do a little bit of a little shock to Chewit, since we know how ruthless this team is?
You know what? I think they've got a little bit of a chance. Yeah, you've got Metroid 9 he's the backliner for Squidnappers, Heavy Summon, and Jet Squelcher. Been very consistent so far. So I think it's gonna, up to Chewits. Oh wait, I mean Me When I Chew It. I'll get that confused quite long. No, but I think it's up to Me When I Chew It to keep an eye on Metro 9, because he, along with him and Inca Splash, I'd say those are the strongest players for Squidnappers.
Yeah, I've seen Splash a good number of times. I've met him at LAN so many times, and also they've been quite the force to be reckoned with the online scene as well. So it'll be great to see if Squidnappers could do something against this Chewits Mafia side. I keep saying Chewits Mafia. It is Chewits Mafia.
The true team.
We got IPS, Chano, Ninja Train. We got Will in there as well. These are players who are always on point. I mean, IPS with the NZAP and the mini spatling, anytime we generally see them on the field, they're taking names in some way, shape, or form. So combine that with the fact that we got a Splattershot Pro, the Splattershot for Chano, we've got the Tetra Julies for Ninja Train, and Will. Well, Spore specifically. Spore with the brushes. And again, we've seen Spore on a regular basis. I don't know if Spore is going to be playing today or not, but in either case, it's always nice to be able to see a brush coming up, which, speaking of which, we could see one, because Clan Blitz is where we start, and we know Clan Blitz, it's pretty much the more chaotic mode of the 4 that we have at our disposal today. So any ideas on what the strategy might be going into Clan Blitz, especially considering the fact that the map that we'll be going onto will be Piranha Pit, which is very much all over the place in terms of conveyor belts and action everywhere.
Yeah, that's right. Piranha Pit Clan Blitz is probably one of the most difficult maps you can get on this mode, where you've got the conveyors going on the build up to the basket, which you have to watch out for. Tell you what, not many players that use the left hand side route to get to the clan, funnily enough. So be interesting to see if if either the teams wanted to mix things up, try and catch people off, because you rarely see people go on that left-hand side up the staircase towards the basket. But I think it's going to be important to get rid of the backliner on the grate just next to, or backliners even, just next to the basket if they want to get a push, because otherwise it's going to be pretty tough for them. And then you combine that with the specials such as Booyah Bomb, Bubbler, which can be good both offensively and defensively. Just lots to consider before making that push.
you've also got another special that would be great to use between the pair of them, and that is the Ink Armor. Again, great for offensive and defensive plays. For defense, gives the entirety of your team just a little bit of extra protection, especially with a push that's coming in, especially if it's aggressive. But again, on the flip side of the field, it might give you just a couple more hits extra to be able to get that football in if you are on the aggressive side. So yeah, very much keep a close eye for those free specials if they make an appearance, which, to be fair, we feel like they probably will at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And then as well as that, just got to watch out for the like the main carrier. So that is, you know, person who will mostly be responsible for picking up the super clams and taking them straight to that basket and then popping it so you can put in all the clams. So be interesting to see. I know for the Chewit team, that Ninja Train is like the main slayer, so be curious to see if, you know, he will be like the designated clam carrier for this one. And then for Squidnappers, you could have I say you could have either Inca Splash or Vargas taking on that role. I mean, Inca Splash is usually a Splash-o-matic player, but Vargas, even though it's like midline with Jet Sculpture, I think, you know, they could be a pretty good shout for pushing it.
Yeah, they've got a fair amount of range on that weapon and also a decent amount of firepower as well. So providing that the range is able to get the jump on them on the first bat of asking, you feel like it could go their way. But again, it's going to be a very interesting challenge for both of these two teams. We are getting them into the lobby, so the match will be with us in just a moment. Thank you all very much for your patience. The Alpha team will be the one that will be starting up on the most left-hand side of your screen. They'll be the first team that you see pop on up. That will indeed be Chewit, and it will be Squidnappers, who will be the Bravo team, who will be the second team to spawn in. So whilst we get these two teams set and ready to go, and again, for those of you who are new here, just a quick reminder as to what you will be seeing in just a short while. With Clam Blitz, you'll have a lot of tiny clams. You gather 10 of those, you'll create a football, the super clam. You're going to take it to an opponent's barrier, dunk that, you'll get 20 points immediately, and you get 3 additional points for every small clam you then throw in afterwards. If the barrier does go back up, you'll have penalty points. You'll see penalty points pop up in every mode, bar Rainmaker. And again, first gets to 0 gets the win. If it goes to 5 minutes, overtime could still happen. But when it's all said and done, whoever has the lowest score will be your winner, and we'll get the first point in our best of 5. So, first match of the stream, first matchup of the Green Cup finals. It is going to be a very spicy matchup. It is going to be Me When I Chew It versus Squidnappers. With Me When I Chew It in the yellow and Squidnappers in the blue. We got the Kenza machine. We got that good old cherry sploosh. We've also got the mini Splatling coming on out, the Kenza variant, I do believe. And this is going to be a very nice matchup. Curiously, no Squelcher, but we've got the Julie Squelchers though.
Yes, we do. We've also got the interesting, not the K-Pro, but the forward splash shot on the side of Chewits, I believe.
Looks that way to me as well. And again, that Kenza machine with the soda, a little fizzy bomb. Once it explodes, it'll start doing its damage bit by bit. And it's also got the splashdown, which you already saw there. Yes, they didn't get anything, but crucially, they didn't get to take it down, which is something that you see quite a lot. We are going to see the ball come on out. The hammer comes out as well and immediately takes down one. That's going to be a double as Vargas goes on down. A really good use of the stamp, quickly throws the grenade to give themselves a chance to go back in, and that looks like it's going to be a quick break. Bubbles will come out for defense, but it can only stall for so long, and the first points are on the board for Chewits.
Very nice push from Chewits there. Now they're really capitalizing. They got all their clams consolidated and they're chucking them in, but we see Splash, who's now on that perch I mentioned earlier, and looks like Squidnap is just slowly getting grabbed out. Oh, but we do see Chew. Just not in time, unfortunately. Though we can see them. Oh, that's a wipe right there.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate wipe. Splash had nowhere to go and had to dip into the drink. And again, you just see Chewits wait for the barrier to drop on back down. and immediately continue on the devastation on this barrier. Second time it's open. We got mist coming on out that quickly. You just see them quickly get away from the mist. They know full well that they do not want to be caught in there for too long. Slows down everything on your disposal. But crucially, the barrier is still up. The splat does go down, and Splash gets one. Can they get the second? Not quite. It is just a mini splatling left, but crucially, they've done enough to make sure the barrier does not get caught any longer. But they've already got another power climb up, and this could be this could be 3 dunks in a row very, very quickly. I don't think it's going to be, because that's another double splat for IPS looking for the triple, but it won't matter anyway, because that will be that. Chewits will get the first point pretty quickly.
Yeah, very nice from Chewits right there. You could see they had a lot of ground coverage once they broke through with that first push, and Squidnappers never really had the chance to take it back. He also had IPS running with that end zap. He got towards the end there before that final push, which sealed victory for Chewits. You could see them getting like 3-4 picks, and then it ends up in a wipe basically to knock it out.
Yeah, and the key thing to note there, especially for Chewits Mafia, especially when it's them concerned, 3 of them had 10 splats each. It's just like, that is a lot of splats coming out on the side of Chewits Mafia, and just showing why they are a team to be reckoned with. I say Chewits Mafia again. We know it's pretty.
Yeah,
much
we know.
we all know.
It's all good.
But as we move ourselves along this best of 5, we're getting ourselves ready for matchup number 2. We are going to Macklemore, quite the open stage. You can pretty much see anything that's happening wherever you stand. And it's going to be tower control. Our wonderful designated ice cream truck will be moving along its designated path. I say that because it's just an ice cream jingle when you step on it. It's always nice to hear. It'll stop at checkpoints. Once you get through those checkpoints, you will continue moving along your way, and you will not have to stop there again. And again, after a matchup where they had 3 barrier breaks pretty much in concession and not really allowing Squidnappers to really be able to get a proper control of the match. But again, do you feel like that's not going to slow down anytime soon going into this matchup?
I think they got the confidence there to carry it through to another win. So I think it just depends how Squidnappers go about it. Basically, I think they need to be careful at the start and not allow Chewits to get as much turf as they got in that last game, and I think it'd be closer then that way.
Well, we certainly hope so, and we're going to get ourselves now ready for our second matchup of the day between Mirona Chewit and Squidnappers. Again, they remain in their respective colors, so Chewit will be in the yellow. And they're spawning with that Kenzo again, the custom Julies again. We got the Endside, we got a Tri-Slosher coming out from Nan, a personal favorite of mine. It's nice to see the Inkarma being represented. We're also got a Blaster on there on the side of the blue, which again, for a mode like Tower Control, you basically point that towards the tower and there's a very high chance you'll tag somebody with the AoE. But look at that, 3 of them already. That's a wipe already. A wipe in the first 15 seconds. And Chewits are pretty much picking up where they left off. They're already at the first checkpoint.
Yeah, Chewits on fire right now. Past that first checkpoint. 3 going down already because we have Chew pushing up. And that makes 4. Staggered wipe right there, but a wipe nonetheless as Chew pushes up. Now we do see some blaster action from Vargas, but unfortunately he goes down to Coco. And now they're past checkpoint 2.
Yeah, already just breezing on through. The Slosh just cannot get anywhere. And again, you've just got so much pressure. The Bria's coming out. The Inkstorm is out. That's another double splat on the board. And that is done and dusted. We didn't even pass 60 seconds. And that is a 2-0 lead in this set for Chewits.
Yep, Chewits absolutely smashed that game then, or knocked it out, rather. I think they really wanted that ice cream, to be honest. That's why they played so fast.
They heard someone was giving out free ice cream bars somewhere in the world, and they want in on it. So we are done and dusted with matchup number 2. We're going to get ourselves ready for match number 3. We're heading over to Splat Zones On the reef, a good old classic combination. We got that bridge where the zone will be underneath. Taking control of that is all you need to be doing. It's essentially condensed turf war, and to be fair, you never forget the turf war side of things because you kind of need to. You need those specials up ASAP. But especially if you're Squidnappers at this point, you've got to try and find a way of being able to get to this zone first and maybe trying to hold it, because every single time turrets have just thrown themselves in there, they've gotten themselves a wipe pretty much almost immediately. So they're going to have to be very careful here going into zones.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing you got to watch out with Chewits as well is you've got two quite aggressive frontliners pushing up as well, like before they make that push. So it's watching out for them as well as trying to get dibs on that zone first. That'll be quite crucial for Squidnappers.
It certainly will be, and again, you feel like maybe a weapon switch around. I mean, the weapon switch around into tower control, on one hand it made sense what they were trying to go for. You could see what they were going for. They had the slosher and the blaster. You're trying to get coverage around that tower, but unfortunately they just never got to the tower, unfortunately, because just Chewit shut them down before they had a chance to get there. So for Squidnappers, it's really the case of rolling the dice at this point. Yes, it's double elimination tournament, so it's not the end of the world if you do lose the first set. You've still got the losers run to go through. You never really want to start with a 3-0 loss. That Kenta machine coming back, the Splat Junior on both sides of the field, and we are away for matchup number 3.
And off they go. We got IPS coming out on the one side there. Could they possibly go for a flank? They got the ink arm around, and they've got Chewits has control. Grimac getting pushed back right here, but now they're trying to get in the zone, trying to ink it up just a little bit. But I think no, almost from Grimac, but Chewits takes back control pretty quickly.
Yeah, they took control very quickly. They had two people pretty much rush all the way in to Squidnappers spawn, and then the other two just kind of circle around the zone to make sure it stays on their side of the field, and already that timer is ticking away past the halfway mark. Remember, this is a dual splat zone map, so if one goes down, you have to retake it to get your counts back up. But again, with moves like that, Han is going to be going down very early on. The hammer is going to come back out from Grim, and actually does patch in Chano just in the midst of that. Can't quite get the next spot that they were looking for, and now they're just stuck in a very dangerous position, 2-on-1 essentially, one behind, one in front. Unfortunately, that was never going to go their way. A really good attempt for them, but it is going to be a coast-to-coast again. Oh, never mind. I spoke just a little too soon. Vagrants could yet put out some penalty points, but they just can't quite finish it off. And it is going to somehow stay with Chewit. And they do get the coast-to-coast in the end. It looked like Squidnappers were about to give them a good old help in the penalty points, but not to be. It is going to be a 3-0 sweep for Chewit.
Valiant effort there from Squidnappers right at the end, trying to contest Vargas and friends. But yeah, Chewit's proven why they're the ones to beat in this tournament right there, with that 3 knockouts back to back.
Yeah, 3 knockouts back to back for Chewits, and that is going to see them through into the winners final. So they're guaranteed a top 3 finish no matter what happens, and they are looking to hold up both the Pink Cup and the Green Cup at the same time. But there is still a couple other teams that want to vie for that position as well. And do remember that there are some teams, specifically the Awesome team. We'll soon find out how awesome they are in just a moment, as they are waiting in their semi-final matchup. They will go up against the winners of Splattershore Riders and Affordable Alliteration. We'll hopefully get those matches to you in just a moment. But another quick word there between Squidnappers and Chewit. I mean, obviously Chewit were incredibly aggressive from every angle imaginable. Like Clan Blitz, they had 3 dunks in a row. They never allowed Squidnappers to get involved in the slightest. Tower control was about as one-sided as you could possibly see in Splatoon 2. Sometimes these kind of matches, they do happen. There's just nothing you can really do about it. It's just they managed to get one wipe in tower right at the start, and from that point onwards, it just did not look like it was going to go against them. And then in Splat Zones, they nearly lost it, so credit to Squidnappers. They managed to find a way in and find a way of being able to almost put that pressure on, and you know they'll take that away. They had a couple of good moments, and hopefully they can build up of that going into their losers run.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta say, with Squidnappers, you could tell that their best game after those three was the last one, because they had, you know, they had the most counters. I'd say most occasions where they almost, you know, got the penalty points on. But yeah, as you were saying, it be like that sometimes. Chewits was, you know, extremely strong coming into this, but I'm hoping, you know, Squidnappers will, you know, will be able to have a little bit of confidence after that last game. You know, being able to put up that fight against, you know, such a strong team like that.
And with that being said, we now move on to our round one match. So yeah, we're doing things a little bit in reverse here, but to be fair, if a team isn't ready, we give the benefit of the doubt. It's essentially the case of, well, we got a semi-final that's already ready, we can get it out the way with. If both teams are then set and ready to go, we can then bring them to the table, and that is exactly what we are going to do now. It is indeed going to be Splattershore Riders to go up against Affordable Alliteration. I do love the names on some of these. Like, it's always nice. I feel like in any esport competition, there'll always be team names that stick out. And, you know, it's nice to see that creativity going just on show for everyone to see. But for Splattershore Raiders, you've got Cyberbrick, AKD, Nothing, and Moralex. And as for the side of Affordable Alliteration, we've got Cam, we've got Ducker, we've got Galactic, and who is stepping in for them today? Because they've got two others. They've got Oyasumi and Takimi. Who is the one coming in today by the looks of it? Can't quite see.
No, I'm not sure.
I think it is Oyasumi. It is Oyasumi. So, yeah, it's Oyasumi because I've just seen their name in the lobby and it says good night, and Oyasumi is good night in Japanese. So, haha.
Very nice.
I know this.
So yeah.
Cam with Splattershore and the Gluga Dualies. Takimi is not playing, so we'll see if anybody else decides to pick up the Splat Charger and the Jet Squelcher, which, to be fair, two very good ranged weaponries right there. The Jet Squelcher, the pretty much longest range, fast firing weapon. And then obviously you've got the Splat Charger, which goes into sniper territory. And for Splat Zones in Block Art Academy, you kind of want a backline like that.
Yeah, it's really good to have a backline like that overseeing the zone, you know. And not only that, but for when you're pushing up, you've obviously got like the two towers either side, and yeah, just you get like a nice shot towards the opponent's side, and you know you can easily keep them at bay that way. So yeah, absolutely agree with having a backline is essential on this.
And we're hopefully gonna see a bit more. I mean, we hope to see a close match. Like I said, in any esport competition, one-sided matches can happen. It's unfortunate when you see them, but it also just shows you how strong a specific team are. Hopefully we get a close match between these two with a semi-final position on the cards. We got a Splatling there I saw on our wonderful yellow side, and it is going to be away we go. Affordable affiliation, Alliteration in the blue. Meanwhile, it will be Splattershore Riders in the yellow, and again, a lot of close weaponry they're coming in with. They're coming with the Junior, the T-Tech, and the NZAP. Yeah,
looking at Cyber right now, but unfortunately going down to Ducker right there, and even though Splattershore Riders have the zone for now, it looks like Alliteration are going to push right back. We see Ducker on the top right here, and using the Inkjet now. Might be in a little bit of a tight spot, but the full Alliteration now maybe going to push back right here.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that, and it looks like control will be theirs. A splat on the zone is never what you want to see happen, because it just leaves so much ink on that zone as a result. can very quickly tip that against you. And with that lead has been taken, the first minute is done and dusted. And already it is going to be a mostly blue side of the field, which is what you like to see if you're an affordable alliteration fan. I'm just going to say affordable at this point, because otherwise
it's affordable, yeah.
I'm going to just trip over my tongue, and nobody's going to like that. But it's back into yellow, and so again, Splattershore able to retake control, and so far, very back and forth match so far.
Yeah, lots of back and forth. We could look at Sky right here now with the NSAP. It has got the armor ready, but in a little bit of a pinch as they trade right there. But that armor could well be the key to get the zone back for Splattershore Riders, and might not be long until they get the lead back too. Lots of back and forth, as you were saying.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was only the Octo shot left up, as everybody else is just respawning back in. Only 3 more on the penalty points, and then 3 more points to take the lead, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So Splattershore regained the lead. The bubbles are out for defense just to try and keep that up. The Inkjet is also coming on out, but I don't think it caught anyone, but it doesn't matter. It distracts them long enough, but that Splat is going to put that straight back into the yellow field. 2 Splats to the good there as Galactic goes down as well. And Splattershore retain this zone, and again, this is going to start to get a little bit dangerous for Alliteration here as they come Newman on back. The Booyah Bomb is going to distract them, split them on up. They've lost the Splattershore again, unfortunately, and Ross the Squeezer does have that long range initially. You then have to come up a little bit close to try and do these 1v1s, and they know they've got to get on with it now. As the Inkjet comes out, tries to get a Splat, almost gets it, but it won't matter anyway because they can't ink the zone, and Splattershore will take the initiative.
Very well done from Splattershore right there. You could tell in that last half that they just had the defense on lock, really, where you know, you did have some players from Affordable trying to flank around, but they were like swiftly stopped, and yeah, they just had a really good coordination with their specials and teamwork, and it bagged them the win.
Yeah, really good communication and coordination from the side of Splattershore. But again, it took them a while to get there. It was very much back and forth. Both teams getting control of the zone. Both teams taking lead of the entire thing. So it was great to see that. But just that range with the Splatling really started to put things a little bit under pressure for Alliteration. And then you had just that confidence to go 1v1 with the other weapons on that side of the field. Again, the Squeezer was an inspired choice to do so. Again, it's, you know, 2 different ways of being able to attack. It fires off that core kind of like a blaster. It's got some decent range to it, but then it transforms into, you know, what you would expect from stuff like the NZAPs and whatnot. So it's like, it's always a balancing act of how you choose to play that weapon, and it's cool to see Alliteration, you know, bringing that into the table, but just against that kind of range, and then the tenacity that everybody else had close range with the Junior and the T-Tech and whatnot, it just caught up to them. But still, really good showing in the first part.
Yeah, it was very, you know, closely contested, neck and neck at the start of that first game right there, and I think it could be, you know, just as close at the start of this one as well. I think for Affordable now, it's about, you know, maybe focusing on like 1 or 2 areas, and they could easily take this one if they did that.
We certainly hope so, as we get ourselves into matchup number 2. It is Tower Control, Manta Maria, a much narrower stage. The Splatling clearly returns, and that is an interesting spread of weapons you got there, Alliteration. We got not 1 but 2 blasters, the Kenza Rapid, and also the Luna. It's been a while since I've seen the Luna in a competitive stage.
Yeah, bold strategy. Let's see how this plays out. Got with the 3 with these 2 blasters. Yeah, it has been a while since I've seen one too. Seen a Luna, I mean, in a competitive setting, but it could well pay off with, you know, the blast radius of the Luna shots. We'll have to see.
Well, nobody's managed to get onto that tower just yet, but again, that Splatling, it just has so much range at its disposal, and the Booyah Bomb, obviously, to make sure to just get everybody away from that tower ASAP. Wiki wisely moving on back, as it is going to be this is going to be Alliteration who takes the initiative. Only a couple points at the moment. Galactic with that range with the Rapid, but unfortunately not going to get anything else with that as Cyber hops onto the tower. That will take the lead for Splattershore. No one has contested them in the slightest. Here comes the Luna though. Let's see what they can do. Nope, Booyah Bomb is going to give them protection. Their team quickly rushes in to dispose of them, and that will be checkpoint 1 done and dusted.
Yeah, very good from Splattershore Riders to get that first checkpoint out of the way right before Alliteration gets right back on there to push back, because now they don't have, once they get back to that point, they don't have to wait for the clock to tick down to move on. So yeah, first checkpoint being taken this early, crucial right there, I'd say.
Essentially means that they can just start going on if they get onto there. Galactic is going to ball it, then Ducker is also going to ball it. They got the wall up as well, just to give themselves a little bit of advantage. They managed to take 2 of them out, and now it is their turn to make some progress. Ducker gets a splat with the Luna. Really cool to see. Can they get themselves second? Not this time. They did make it to the first checkpoint, but that's pretty much a wipe. It is a 6-point game, but crucially, they couldn't break the checkpoint.
Yeah, solid defense from Riders right there, stopping Alliteration from getting that checkpoint, like I was saying. And now they're past where the checkpoint 1 would have been. Let's see if they can get some more ground. We do see Camex trying to stop them, but not quite, as they're oh so close to that second checkpoint out. But it's gone back towards the way of affordable Alliteration, it seems.
Yeah, and there's only one left. Would you believe it? It's the NZAP that's left. But they're doing pretty much a last stand here. And in fact, they've won out the 1v1 takedown on Oyasumi. And that is going to be a quick resurgence for them. So despite the fact they were the only ones left, they chose not to jump back and allowed themselves to stall for time to get the rest of the team back up to speed. Ducker does manage to take them out eventually. And that means the tower is now sitting back in the center. We're into the second half of this matchup, probably the longest match we've had on stream thus far. 78-52. Oh, and 2 going down. That's the Luna and the Splattershore. But 2 specials are primed and ready to go. They're just waiting for the rest of their team to respawn back in before they start doing anything. But guess who's making the first push again? It's Splattershore.
Oh, that Booyah Bomb, though, is going to make life a little bit harder for them. But then I say that, and Splattershore Riders coming out with not 1 but 2 Booyah Bombs as they push up right here. Booyah Bomb has been very crucial for pushes at the moment in the competitive scene.
Yeah, Cyber with the double splat as well continues to push quite nicely. That just leaves pretty much everybody from Alliteration spawning back in. Wrong place, wrong time there, I'm afraid. That was 3 of them waited for you. And that is checkpoint 2 done and dusted as well. So now they go towards the third. And to just wait it out. And that is going to be another big time continuation tower. It's just back and forth at this point.
Yeah, and if you had a look at mid as well, it's got a lot of coverage from Splattershore right now. So I think Affordable should really do the best to try and get some ground back before pushing. We do see Oyasumi right there with throwing out that Booyah Bomb, and Galactic as well.
Doing everything they can to get a move on. They know they've only got 30 seconds left. Pretty much no specials on the board at this stage, but crucially they're on the tower making their way. But unfortunately it's the Gal that goes down. It's the last thing they needed, and guess who it is? It's nothing. As always, Cameron does go down, but crucially Galactic finally takes the Splatling out, but at what cost? Because with 13 seconds to go, it looks like that tower is going to be safely in Splattershore's hands, and they know as long as they are on it, overtime will not happen. And with 3 seconds to go, it looks like that will be all they wrote, because they tried to retake it, but the suction bomb was there in the nick of time, and that will be Splattershore's game, making them 2-0 up in this set.
Very nicely done towards the end there. No knockout this time. They had to play right up until the end. So Affordable Alliteration really putting in a good fight right there.
Yeah, he has to be getting the 13 splats with the Gal more than anybody in that matchup. But crucially, you had 12 and 11 respectively from 2 of the teammates of Splattershore. So again, that coordination just coming in clutch for Splattershore. Again, Alliteration were keeping themselves firmly in that matchup, which was awesome to see. They had some really good moments in there. But again, just that sheer ink power from Splattershore, able to get them through not one, but two checkpoints. And when you get past the second checkpoint, it could be quite hard to bounce back from that when you still are yet to break that first one. But still, a really good showing again from Alliteration. They took them to time. And that is our first not knockout off the stream.
Yes, indeed. And I was going to say as well, another lots of back and forth as well at the start of that game, just like the first game, where it seemed like both teams were just trying to feel each other out, trying to sense what they were going to do. But I think what it came down to in the end for Splattershore was just that amount of turf coverage and control in mid. It meant that it made life very difficult for affordable Alliteration to then try and get that push back to where they once were towards like the first half of the game, and they just couldn't do it, unfortunately.
And with that, we now move into a personal favorite of mine. It is time for Rainmaker. We're going to head on over to Snapper Canal. We got some water in here. Will anybody be taking a swim? I hope not. But you can bet that one of us will likely call it out when it happens. But yeah, with wonderful Rainmaker, you've got our dragon-esque bazooka in the middle of the map. It's got its own barrier. Once you shadow it, don't be near it. You will get splattered by it, and nobody will like you for it. You can pick it up, you can fire it as a mortar, it'll curve on up and then explode where it lands, leaving a whole amount of ink in its wake. Take it to the podium. If you get a knockout, congratulations. If you do it in 30 seconds, 30 seconds or a minute.
Pizza time!
It's a pizza!
Yeah.
Not from Domino's. Splatling and the Junior Kenzo again. Pretty much the same loadout on Splattershore's side. Meanwhile, for Alliteration, they've got the Kenzo out, they've got the Splatling out. They're going double or nothing with the range this time.
Yeah, and it's like two opposite sides right here, yin and yang, with the short range and long range. So be interested to see which one trumps which, as we see Alliteration with the push right here, getting up to 62, and we do see Oyasumi trying to do a little flank maybe right here, or not quite though.
Yeah, they thought about it, but it just did not play out. Got it to 61 for the first push. This is just the first minute, so no pizza this time round. And as everybody comes respawning back in, Cameron and Oyasumi managed to do a 2v1 successfully. And the Rainmaker is just there, just sitting there in the corner for the time being. Shield is still very much intact, so the Rainmaker will not reset until that is burst. It is burst now. Ducker thought about going for it, but wisely holds off and in fact baited out the Junior and then took him out that way. Stingray comes up as well, so too do the Bubbles, and this will surely extend the lead now.
It's risks like that I like to see being taken in Rainmaker. We see Affordable Alliteration just slightly extending the lead right there, but that can end up being crucial towards the end. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Cameron, they followed that up by standing right in front of the Rainmaker shield as it blew up. Ducko with the Stingray knows exactly where the group are. They're tagging everyone for dear life. They just can't quite get the splat on their side of the field. They do take the Splattershore down. Galactic waits out the Booyah Bomb and now goes in for the 1v1. Can they stop them in time? They just about do so. They got dangerously close to retaking the lead. It's a 5-point game between these two as we enter 3 minutes to go. But crucially, it is back under control for Alliteration.
Yeah, nice defense right there from Alliteration, because 1 second too late and of course Splattershore would have taken the lead, but it's up to them to try and get the ground back now on the left-hand side of the map from their perspective, and to stop any more pushes coming out from Splattershore.
Yeah, Rainmaker's just sitting there. Shield has been burst. Someone is going to keep thinking about going for it, but it looks like in the end it's going to get itself reset and put back onto that middle section to go down for Alliteration, and it is going to be reset. So despite Alliteration having the player advantage, they weren't able to pick up the Rainmaker in time. And back to the middle it goes, which ironically enough goes back in the favor of Alliteration. Booyah being charged up again. Same too with the bubble blows. In fact, they're both sides popping up the bubbles, but it's crucially Splattershore who run away with the Rainmaker.
Yeah, on the push again, going the same route as last time, but will it pay off? Oh, there's a wipe. There's a wipe right there from Alliteration, and that's going to be a really good push from Splattershore Riders. Got the result they wanted right here, but of course the game is not over yet, and Affordable Alliteration need to really pull it back now.
Yeah, 48 to 34, so the gap is now a 14-point lead on the side of Splattershore. Stingray comes out again, but it's going to get cancelled out immediately because someone's coming on a prowl. And Cameron is going to get taken out by Cyber as well, who trying to look for the triple. Not quite able to do so, but it doesn't matter because they forced them all the way back. Rainmaker has been set back to the middle. It goes with a minute 20 left on the field. Kind of tactical play for Alliteration. They knew full well they had to get it out of their own half and just flat out reset it for themselves. So back to the middle it goes. It's actually kind of evened out now, but crucially, Alliteration are running out of time.
Yeah, there's still a little bit of time left for Alliteration, but that one push from earlier has set them back just a little bit, and very sensible reset as well from them earlier because... Oh, hold on.
Yeah, nothing
What's this?
is the only one left, and Oyasumi knowing full well that this could be the chance, but unfortunately everybody else has spawned back in, and they need some help. They get a trade, which is the last thing they needed, because I think they pushed just a little too quickly. Alliteration pushed too far and weren't protecting the Rainmaker at all. Galactic now has to wait for the rest of their team to spawn on in, and they are stuck in a very tricky situation here. And they actually got the end zap. They caught them completely off guard, so it's back to a 3v3, but there's only 20 seconds left. And Galactic knowing full well if they drop the Rainmaker now, it's pretty much over. And that is a Booyah Bomb that questionably has been popped a little too early. Same goes for the Bubble Blower. This is all or nothing for Alliteration. They've got to get a move on now, but it's only Galactic and one other left. Overtime will happen for the first time this stream, but this could go either way. The TikTok is going to be down on the side of Splasher, but crucially, the Booyah Bomb comes out and Galactic is taken out.
My goodness, that was so intense at the end there. You had the specials coming out just a little bit too early from Splattershore Riders, and then just Alliteration hanging on for dear life, trying to come up with a plan to push forward. But that Booyah Bomb right there from Splattershore just so crucial in order to stop that overtime, and Splattershore ended up taking it, but it honestly could have gone either way that game.
Yeah, that really could have gone either way. Really good plays from both sides of the field. Like I said, overtime never ceases to deliver when we go in there, and whilst it did not go the way of Alliteration and they do go down into the losers bracket by 3 points to 0, a very good hold. It felt like they were getting better the longer that set went in, considering the fact that they conceded that KO into splat zones. Then they took it to time in Manta Maria. Then they took it into overtime in Rainmaker. So they were starting to get more into that set the longer it went in. And it shows again. Oyasumi was the highest splatter in that matchup across both teams. So really good performances for both. But again, just that hold, as you say, that defense where it looked like it had been popped a little too early, but able to get the Booyah Bomb back up in time to manage to be able to get that save and splat that crucially ended the game. Very good performances from both sides of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams should give themselves a pat on the back here, even though Splatshot Riders ended up coming out on top. I think Affordable Alliteration can take some solace in the fact that, like you said, it seemed like they did settle in as the games went on, as the time went on. So looking forward to seeing them again, hopefully later on in the bracket, because that was a heck of a good performance, and I think they've got more to show us.
Yeah, I definitely think that as well. So hopefully we'll be able to see them a little bit later on. But now we turn our attentions to our second semi-final. We know that Chewits will be waiting in the winners' final. But who will they be going up against? Will they be going up against the team that we just saw get their 3-0 victory, which were the Splattershore Riders? Or will it be the quote-unquote awesome team? Yes, the awesome team is the team name, and they will be the ones who will be going up against Splattershore in our second semi-final to determine 2 of our podium places. And, well, with the awesome team, we've got quite a nice lineup for you. We've got Party Octo, we've got Stealth, Omnitopia, and Icy. We know that Stealth likes to play with the end zap, so again, we've seen a good amount of the end zap so far today, so be prepared to see some more frantic 1v1 action there. We have Party Octo, who, amusingly enough, comes in with the Lunar Blaster, so we were surprised to see a Lunar Blaster in the previous set. We might see another one in this set.
Yeah, it's like, Lunar Blast is like you see none and then 2 come at once, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Party Octo plays with this as well. Do you ever call it the Lunar Blast? Have you ever known it to be called it's like the golf ball shooter? Because I remember it being called that like at the early stages of Splatoon 1's life, but I'm not sure if it's still called that anymore. Golf ball shooter.
I haven't called it a golf ball myself. I know some people probably have done. I feel like the reason why we always get surprised to see Lunar Blasters making an appearance in Splatoon 2 is mostly on the basis of that we would see it almost all of the time in Splatoon 1 and becoming a very meta weapon for a variety of reasons. But in Splatoon 2, it kind of got nerfed a fair bit. And so as a result, you just didn't really see. You would see other weapons be picked significantly more than Lunar. So whilst it's taken a while to start seeing them pop up again, it's almost kind of nostalgic to be seeing Lunar Blasters being picked again, because it's like for the longest time they just weren't, because it was never the same since the early days of Splatoon 2.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's the same with like a few other weapons as well. Like, fun enough, with the charges, like they for the wrong reasons, I'd say, were quite used. Picked quite frequently towards the end of Splatoon 1's life. Damage up. But then we've seen, like, with Splatoon 2, they had a bit of a resurgence quite recently. So now you can't go far without seeing like a splash scope or like a charger on the team. So who knows? Maybe the Lunar in this game is making a similar resurgence.
Yeah, you like to see it. You very much like to see it, especially when you've got other chargers. And yes, the Bamboozler technically counts as a charger, even though it never operates like it. You wouldn't think it with the amount of attack main power up that people launch onto the Bamboozler.
Yeah, with the Bamboozler's insane with the main power up.
Yeah, and that's the best thing. It's like between the two games, like sometimes you'll see weapons pop off more in Splatoon 1 than they have in Splatoon 2, and then you'll see the same weapon that existed in Splatoon 1. You were like, oh, this was in Splatoon 1, I never really saw it, and now you see it a lot in Splatoon 2. So it's kind of what makes me interested and excited to see what it's going to be like going into Splatoon 3, because it's like, chances are we'll see a lot of those weapons back in again for Splatoon 3 because of course, but it'll just be the case of which weapons will get the limelight this time round. There's so many things to be excited for our next game.
I'm hoping that Dapples will take their place at the top. Hoping.
We will soon see. But anyway, that is us talking about the future of Splatoon. Let us get back to the present. Our second semi-final of the Green Cup is about to be underway. It is going to be the awesome team going up against Splattershore Riders, and coming on up, pretty much business as usual for Splattershore. And meanwhile, for the awesome team, there is an Octobrush.
Hell yes, there's an Octobrush, and we've also got a Carbon Roller Deco come out as well, which is interesting. Another weapon which don't see much of in competitive, but there we go. We see all the teams, both teams even, trying to collect those clams, and it looks like awesome team have a super already, and they're running it in with the Octobrush. Is Octo gonna get it? Oh, unfortunately gets surrounded, but we do see another super clam, and they get surrounded too. But it does go in anyway.
Yeah, and that is going to be very dangerous because Carrot is over there, and that surely you would think might be a couple more going in, and it has done. Down to 60 it goes. 2 splats again. Being able to take full advantage of that. The carbon finally does go down, but crucially, 2 big power clams into the barrier. 60 to 100. Not a bad start, to be fair, considering the fact of how that was looking towards the start of that entire play. But hey, you'll take the 40 points where you can.
Yeah, it almost looked like an against the odds situation right there when you saw all those teammates go down for Awesome Team, but their tenacity, that just they kept going, kept pushing, and they ended up getting the 2 supers in the basket. So it definitely paid off for them.
Now it's just going to be the case of when do Splattershore decide to pick up that pity clam, as some people like to call it. If once the barrier is broken, once it does reset, you get yourself a free football, just on the house, just to give yourself back into the field of play. And to be fair, that's a wipe. That's a big old wipe, and that's going to be a big old push now for Splattershore. So it's their turn to go. Can they make it? No, they can't. They were just a little too far, and they couldn't quite get that converted in, and that could cost them dearly. I think they managed to get themselves back up. No, they haven't. They've got another power clamp, but the other ones we said, will this one break it? Surely it will. It does. They have points on the board.
Thank goodness for that. There's been so many situations where you shoot, you just try and aim. I'd say just try and get the pop, but it just arcs downwards. So I know that feeling, but fortunately for them, they managed to get something out of that push.
Yeah, I have done my fair share of commentary on Splatoon 2 games, and I have seen a variety of unfortunate power clam misses when it comes to those. Especially, it hurts more when it's in overtime, because you know that is the moment you want to be winning those kind of plays. But so far, both teams have players at well, no sooner have I said that, the power clam is down, unfortunately, on the right-hand side. And as you see, the order bomb rush, plenty of doggos, and if anybody hated the inner H of free fight, I'm sorry, they're back again. That is another barrier break on the side of Awesome Team, and they are past the halfway mark. Carrot gets the splat with the deco. They are operating on full cylinders here, and again, free going down again on the side of Splattershore.
Yeah, lots of people going down right there, but ultimately for Awesome Team, using that Octobrush to its fullest potential to quickly run towards the basket and pop. We did see Splattershore riders with an albeit short push right here, and it looks like Awesome Team is going to come right back as we see Octo there with his Octobrush, with his Super Clam, but is going to just pull back ever so slightly to use the Tenta missiles here, just biding in time, waiting as we see his teammates pushing up. And here comes the jump. Will they get the Super Clam in? And I think the answer is yes, and the armor coming out as well. This is going to be a massive push for Awesome Team here.
Yeah, it's going to be a big time push, and you can just see the amount of clams they're throwing in. I mean, they only need one more clam. Just one more clam will do it for them. They're unfortunately battling against the conveyor belt, but they finally get there in time. And that's sometimes what you can get very scared of when it comes to this map, when you're just consistently going up against the conveyor belt, when you only need that clam, but they do find it in the nick of time. An Awesome Team will start with the first point on the board, back and forth, but crucially, there's Awesome Team who managed to take it off. Look at stealth with those 14 splats with the carbon roll.
Very nice, very nice. But yeah, for Awesome Team, they were in their element there. It was by no means easy, but with the carbon roller and the with the Octobrush, they turned out to be essential for their team, essential frontliners, and going for the pushes and the picks. It was good as well to see, because you see a lot of frontliners just non-stop pushing and not just like coming back, taking breather. But you could see towards the end there with the Octobrush had the special ready instead of just trying to push through, trying to get that Super Clam in because you really want to win. It was really refreshing to see them, just take a step back, use the missiles, and then wait for the coordinated attack, and that ended up getting them the knockout.
And unfortunately, just a quick little mention to Splattershore, who unfortunately I think they had 2 unfortunate near misses on the barrier, because they did manage to push on back, because after the initial barrier did break. They had somebody just waited with the power con. They got that in, and then I think they missed the next throw as well. So it's unfortunate that those kind of things do happen. Stealth is going to switch out a deco for the Tri-Slosher. Tri-Slosher comes back again. The Kenza Luna going to make an appearance, as to does the Kenza Roller. And meanwhile, again, not much has changed on the side of Splattershore as we go into tower control Makoma.
Yeah, with Splattershore there, gonna go for the push right here. We see the gal on tower, but are they going to be able to get past the first checkpoint? I think the answer is yes. We see Octos trying to get a few picks. Does manage to get a pick or two, but unfortunately goes down, and the push is still going for Splattershore right now.
Roller is back, but crucially, the Booyah Bomb is up to give themselves a little bit of protection, and I think they very much knew that was going to be a fight they were losing. Splatling does go down, but crucially took out another of the team, but I think they actually lost a teammate in the midst of all that. Heck, never mind that. That's a wipe. They managed to get it to the second checkpoint, but that is the end of their first push. That's still a good showing, though, down to 37.
Yeah, that's the kind of push you want for the start, because it's going to take quite some time for Awesome Team to get to the same spot as them. And with this ground that they have in mid for Splattershore Riders, it's not going to be easy.
It certainly won't be, as the Booyah Bomb again comes on down. Roller had nowhere to go. And again, the Splatling, with being able to be up on these crates with a stage like Makoma, because of the way this is all positioned, you can pretty much see what's going on at any turn. The rest of their team are just trying to coordinate that. And unfortunately, now they're in no man's land, and the tower was still in the middle. So that's the second wipe again. And crucially, that is now the first checkpoint under consideration for Awesome Team. Will they be able to pull this through? Again, a 2v1 situation. They're just about able to stall it out, and past the first checkpoint they go. Carrot wisely gets the heck out of there and quickly goes in to pop the bubbles. They have lost the tower initially, but crucially they win at least 2 exchanges, and that surely will be the push continuing.
Yep, the push is still going for Awesome Team at the moment. Oh, but we see Sky right there taking out 2 from Awesome Team, and that might put a dent in their plans. And we see another one jumping on tower, but 3. I think that 4 people firing as they go down, and that is going to be a staggered wipe. So Splattershore Riders on an all-out defense right there, and they're just going to keep pushing, stalling for time.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, when you're committed to the jump, it's like, well, the entire team is there. All you're really doing is making sure the tower stays in place for just a little longer. But crucially, it's not great to feed into the enemy like that. Past the first checkpoint, which was already broken, we go again into the second half of the match. And again, you see the amount of ink in yellow. Splattershore have control, and they're at the second checkpoint for the second time. But they have lost their anchor in the Splatling. Booyah Bomb will come out. But crucially, it is going to be another successful confrontation on the side of Awesome Team. They will at least stop the tower from going any further than that. They've actually lost the Roller and the Luna in the midst of all of that. But crucially, they are at least able to slow this down and bring this back towards the middle.
Yeah, that's right. It's lots of back and forth going on the side of Awesome Team at the moment. But what they need is to get, a few picks here, just push up a little bit, and then they'll be within a chance to claw it back.
Yeah, back into the middle they go. They are rapidly running out of time. Tri-Slosher and the Roller do have specials. In fact, Roller will pop theirs. Out come the bubbles, out come the ink armor. They know they're going to have to get a bit of a move on here as it goes back towards the middle. 51 to 37. Crucially, both have broken the first checkpoint. And with Splattershore still not able to break that second, they've got to be really, really solid with their defense at this point. They were able to take down 1, but didn't have the range to take out the second. The Booyah Bomb will try to force everybody out away from the right-hand side of the map, and crucially goes back towards the middle. Tri-Slosher is down, and Splattershore desperately trying to keep control of this matchup.
Yes, and it's just a lot. Again, Splattershore's got a lot of coverage in mid, so that will help them out. We see AKT going at lightning pace right here. I can't keep a track of him in mids. They're that fast, and just Splattershore here, hold it, just doing their best to hold on to it. But we do see Awesome Team pushing up and a little bit more purple, so who knows?
Yeah, the Inkstorm out as well, and they've lost the Splatling. Have Splattershore with 13 seconds to go. The Luna is down, and look who's pushing the tower. It's Splattershore who are pushing the tower into the enemy side. Not really the best tactic you could have had there, because crucially, this will go into overtime, but it's only Carrot on the tower here. If anybody touches that, or if it's left untouched for too long, it will go the other way. That is one Splat. Can they get the second? No, they can't. The Octo got the direct, but it's okay, because Cyber is on the tide, and that is going to tie this setup. No 3-0s this time round. It's 1 apiece in our second semi-final.
No siree. Yes, it's very even, this one right here, and looking forward to seeing the other games too. You had what a response from Splattershore Riders in that game. You had the relatively early lead, and then just the defense circle. There were plenty of times where Awesome Team could have easily broken through their ranks and overtook them even, but Splattershore, I think that their defense won in that game. Like the early push was the one that is the reason why they won that game, but you got to remember that the defense was absolutely crucial and also won it for them.
Yeah, you have to remember that they only made it to the second checkpoint twice. Both times Awesome Team were able to push them back, but that was the damage done in the early stages. And despite not getting back there again, as you say, that defense was something to be very much appreciative of. They just did not allow Awesome Team to get back anywhere close to it. Like that overtime can get incredibly stressful, especially when it's the Lunar Blaster you're 1v1ing, because you know full well if that hits you direct, that is you down immediately. It's essentially a one-hit splat. So they managed to take one, but crucially, Cyber, with that fast-firing weapon, I think it was the Gal that they were rocking in that matchup, they were able to take them down before anything else could happen. And since they were on the tower with them, it meant overtime was done and dusted. So great performance from both. We go into match 3, Splat Zones for the Reef, knowing full well we will see a map after this. It's the missile variant of our NZAP coming on out for Splattershore. Meanwhile, the Kenta Roller does make a reappearance, so does the Kenta Shot. But crucially, it's the Neo Splash. So Bomb Rush Blush, anyone?
Bomb Rush is going to be essential as well for trying to capture the zones. Really good pick, I'd say, there from Awesome Team. And speaking of which, they're gonna get that zone right there, and looks like it's gonna be another tense one as a splash will push back in.
It's a 3v2 at this point in time as the rest of Awesome Team start spawning themselves back in. A really good opportunity for Splattershore to take control and finally do so. So the first push for Awesome Team did not last as long as they'd like to. But again, this is a split zone map. If you lose one side, you have to retake control of both to be able to continue on your scoring ways. And to be fair, the missiles have split up Awesome Team for the time being. And with that, Splattershore will retake the lead very quickly indeed. Splatling on the bridge, and as we all like to say in the competitive scene, if you control the bridge, you basically control how things go, which is why you don't concede it and get splattered like that on the downside.
Yeah, the bridge going over those zones is very essential for for controlling the two zones or trying to push back and take them. And now we see Awesome Team taking on that advice and end up having both zones. So ball is in their court now to try and hold this. And they do have the 2 specials ready, so I'm sure that'll help them with their defense too.
Yeah, they haven't even popped them yet, and they've already gotten the better of 2 of the Splattershore players. Booyah Bomb will come out. It will not be able to disrupt it in time. In fact, it doesn't disrupt it at all, but they do manage to get the splat onto Octo. The bubbles are out to try and keep that position intact, but crucially, it has been stopped. The Booyah Bomb will at least stop it completely this time around. Icy gets taken on down. It's a 2v3 situation, but again, never underestimate the range of that splatting. Another Booyah Bomb charged up and ready to go. That will keep things in a good position, and their teammate really coming in clutch there. The Splatling was in trouble, but crucially, they came swooping on in with that close range wonderful weapon and quickly take it back. But again, look how quick Awesome Team are back onto the scene. Yes, they've got penalty points, but you wouldn't know it that they just lost the zone because they're still contesting this.
Yeah, Awesome Team putting up a heck of a fight right here, and it's even if they lose the zone, just that time contesting it, it runs down the clock, so it puts more pressure on Splattershore to try and get it to get more points towards the end and overtake them. And by no means Awesome make it that easy.
Yeah, and that's a wipe as well. Just as we were singing the praises, that is a wipe on the side of Awesome Team. So, very quickly, Cyber quickly inks up the bridge, pops Booyah, immediately figures out where they're trying to go, tries to stall them out and maybe force them a completely different way, and maybe into a choke point that they can capitalize on. 1.5 minutes to go. They are rapidly close to retaking the lead here at Splattershore. They're past the 40s, they're into the 30s, but no sooner have I said that, Awesome Team are straight back on both. They may have lost the Splashomatic, but it doesn't matter at all. They have retaken control of the zone, but they've lost 2 in the process. But again, it's stalling for time at this point. Another one coming on down. That's going to be a quick punish. Penalty points are back up, but crucially, there's only a minute to go. There's 4 points in it. This could still go either way.
Yeah, it's very close right here. We see Splattershore now have a strong control of the zone as we see that clock tick down. But then as soon as I say that, here come Awesome Team contesting it as there's just Booyah pops going off everywhere. And now Splattershore have it back. And now they take the lead. And that's under a minute left. That's put a lot of pressure on Awesome Team right here. They can still do it. But then as that clock ticks down, 15, 14, 13, it's just becoming harder and harder. They could even get the knockout here, right? Splattershore using that inkjet so well, and
Stealth stopped it. Stealth has somehow stopped this with the bomb rush push, but they can't take control of the zone. There's only 2 left, but there's only 3 points left. Surely they'll take control. Surely they'll do it, and that will be a KO in the dying seconds there. Somehow, Splattershore do it with a knockout. They lead the set by 2 points to 1, having conceded the first game. And goodness me, how close do you want this to be?
Very close, and it looks like it is. It is very close. Like it looked like Awesome Team had the most control there, like throughout the first half, but. Splattershore Riders, just that massive push at the end. They kept on pushing no matter how much Awesome Team wanted to hold it, they couldn't hold it, and they just kept that momentum going, ended up going into a knockout for Splattershore, which is the ideal scenario. You'd rather knockout than wait until the end just to lose it, and then you got that pressure in overtime. So yeah.
Yeah, you sort of feared for the worst thing. You feared an overtime was on the horizon when you just see Stealth stop it, and there's just a lot of blue ink flinging between both zones. But crucially, they lost 2 players in the midst of that. Otherwise, I think for sure we might have been looking at an overtime card. But that was for then. This is for now. Our second Rainmaker match is about to be on the way. We're going to Black Belly Skate Park. Speaking of Splatoon 1, good old returning map. We will not be seeing the mega ramp in the pillar. It will be nice and flat for the Rainmaker to sit comfortably on without anyone feeling like they can't do anything. But it's a massive difference from the previous map that we had with Rainmaker, and especially going into this, Splattershore they did concede the first game. They've won 2 on the trot now. They ideally want to try and steal this 3-1, but you feel like with how aggressive Awesome Team were, especially towards the end of that second half, you feel like this is nowhere near done yet.
Yeah, I think for Awesome Team, if they get the push right out of the gate, that like they did with the Clamblitz game, you could tell they had very strong pushes, then it'll go in their favor. Otherwise, I think if it goes to a battle of attrition of that back and forth, I have a feeling that Splattershore will take it. So we'll have to see.
And see we shall. Rainmaker Black Belly Skate Park, the Splatling consistently back again and again. But there's a ball point. A ball point is now on the cards alongside a Rapid Pro Deco. And this is an interesting mix-up here for Awesome Team, and we'll see where this takes us, as they are the first to pop the shield as well. But crucially, they're going to have to be very careful. They do get the first splat as well, taking down the Junior on the side of Splattershore. That's the T-Tech gone as well. And it looks like they're doing exactly what you asked them to. Aggressive from the get-go.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to get that ground now and then go for that push. Very well played, but Octo going down right here. We have AKD and friends just picking them off, and it's looks like the Rainmaker is going to reset at this rate, so, because oh wow, speaking of which, Splattershore just get that little push. They actually get the first push.
Yeah, I was going to say, despite everything, that really was against the run of play. Awesome Team just sort of just tiptoeing into into their own half there, but thankfully 3 down on this. Make that a wipe, actually.
Whoa.
That's a wipe for Splattershore, and that will absolutely be a push now from Awesome Team. So they'll not fret too much that they lost a couple points in the early going. They're already past the halfway. Look, heck, they're down to 26 already. That is how you push the Rainmaker.
Absolutely, and that making the jump as well at the end was crucial to get more points, get as many points on that push as possible too. So even though Splattershore it's their turn for the offense now, that is like a heck of a way to climb. Then again, this is Rainmaker, and anything can happen quite fast. So we'll have to see.
There's still a long way to go in this matchup, but crucially, Awesome Team have the first push that they needed. And now it is up to Splattershore to try and take this back. They have the player advantage now, and now it's their turn to maybe go for the jump. Heck, I think they'll absolutely... Oh, they won't! They won't at all! That is going to be the Junior taking them out of the equation. But crucially, that's almost a wipe on the side of Awesome Team. This could still yet be a very good winning push here right now for Splattershore. Take the lead. This could be a dunk. It is! It is a dunk! That is a full-on KO. That came out of nowhere. That came out of Randy nowhere, and Splattershore will take this by 3 points to 1. Awesome Team had a massive push there, but it didn't matter in the slightest. Where did that come from for Splattershore?
I'm telling you, these guys can read my mind, because as I said like a minute beforehand, it's like they got a long way to go, but then again, this is Rainmaker, anything can happen, and bam, that push was amazing, and Splattershore ended up taking it.
A wonderful showing for both of these two teams. You felt like after that push from Awesome Team, that would take some beating, but Splattershore, very quick with the no you, just quickly flipped the script immediately, got initially caught by the Junior, but the Inkjet was still on hand, still getting splat, still keeping Awesome Team locked in their own area. And that gave them enough time to re-pop that shield, reclaim the Rainmaker, and just go straight for the dunk. 3 points to 1 will see Splattershore into the winners' final, where they will go up against Chewit for a place in our grand finals for the Green Cup. Pretty good showing so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm so hyped to see what the rest of this tournament brings after that game, because there was so much back and forth, so much contesting for the objective, and it was just great to watch. That's got me really hyped up now to watch both sides of this bracket, the rest of it.
You're absolutely right. So whilst we wait for both of our teams to hop on in, we are going to quickly BRB for a moment to allow ourselves to catch our breaths and to get both teams set and ready to go for the winners' final when we return here for the Inkfest Green Cup in association with Gfinity. Don't go away, my friends. Welcome back, everybody, to the Green Cup for the Inkfest here on the Splatoon community Twitch page in association with Gfinity. I am, of course, still your girl, TK Layla. Louis Boy still joining me on commentary, and we are going to dive into the losers bracket to see if we can make some progression towards that top 3 podiums. We will be starting off with Squidnappers going up against Affordable Alliteration, both unfortunately falling 3-0 in their respective sets. But crucially, I feel like this is going to be a very back and forth matchup between these two.
Yeah, absolutely. You had Squidnappers who were up against Chewits, which was obviously a very strong team and the main contenders here today. And meanwhile, you had Affordable Alliteration who against Splattershore Riders, you could tell they were like getting settled in towards the end. So I'm thinking, this is definitely going to be a close game here, hopefully.
We certainly hope so. And it will be Squidnappers on the left-hand side of your screen. Again, you got Splash, Han, we got Grimmer and Vagorous. And then on the right, I say the left-hand side of your screen, you can tell I'm used to commentating. I was kind of just immediately went into that de facto mode. The Alpha team will be the first team to appear. That is Splash, Han, Grimmer, and Vagorous. And then the second team to pop up, that will be Alliteration. And they will be consistent of Galactic, Oyasumi, Ducker, and Cameron. We will be starting off where we left off, would you believe it? Rainmaker Blackbelly Skate Park. Now, bearing in mind that that matchup very much was the definition of back and forth, where we had one massive push straight into another massive push on the other side of the field. Will we see the same kind of intense start between these two teams, or do you think it might be a little bit slower?
I have no idea, to be honest, but I'm hoping it'll be lots of back and forth. Though the exception would be a pizza time. I wouldn't mind a pizza time. Always up for pizza time.
You always say that.
Yeah,
the more
I'm
times
the
you
pizza
say
time guy.
it, the more times you say it, the more I want a pizza.
Pizza time. I'll stop now. It's the theme. It's the pizza. Here we go.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Greatly appreciated. So, losers bracket will begin, starting with our first round. Remember that these are still best of 5s. The first to get those 3 good old points will be your victor. Squidnappers in the yellow. What will they be bringing to the table? We got ourselves a blaster and a tri-slosher. We got ourselves the pro and the squelcher. So, doubling up the long range on the side of Alliteration and doubling on some interesting picks for Squidnappers. Like I said, the blaster, the tri-slosher, we got a sploosh in there, and the Kenza mini splatling.
Yes, indeed, and we're gonna see a push right here down the corridor, but Galactic is gonna use that Stingray, which is probably gonna stop that push dead in its tracks, which it does. Very good play right there.
Why you kind of bring those in. We call it the GG Ray for a reason. We'll certainly call it that if we go towards that period of the match. But crucially, the first push only to 85. Galactic is going to lose not one but 2 teammates in the midst of this, so they probably won't have much longer to go through. And that is going to be 73 now for Alliteration, 73 to 99. Squidnappers have it all to... I say all to do. There's still 4 minutes. There's plenty of time to turn this around.
Indeed, and I was going to say the Rainmaker's in an awkward position right now. It's just a little off to the side right there, sort of like the top of that corridor. If Affordable can get it right here, it'll be really good for a push. But for Squidnappers, it's, a little bit of an awkward position.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's slightly awkward on both sides of the field, because again, Alliteration had to pick it up alongside all of that, all of the ink that was coming in there, a lot of the AoE blasters as well. So just trying to get it out there, and unfortunately being chased by the hammer, which is not what you want to see. Thankfully, Oyasumi managed to hold their ground just about and get the better of them, but yeah, it's always quite intimidating to see that just come full pelt towards you.
Yeah, and Affordable right here, all grouping up, trying to support each other as the Rainmaker still comes in, but Grimmer is going to stop that push right here, and Squidnappers are going to have to just try and get some ground and, push back Affordable from the corridor, first of all.
Yeah, all the way down to 47. They passed that halfway mark already. And it's going to be picked up by Squidnappers, so they're not going to allow it to reset. They are going to try and go through, although Han slushing too close to the sun. You can see the suction bomb there, but they just did not want to move. But Vagras is going to be on the move, doing their best to just fling it in. And I hope that it sticks. They take it to 82 in their initial push, but they really have the backing of the rest of their team at their disposal. But having said that, though, it still popped in the side, and Splash is going absolutely all in for it. That really caught Alliteration slightly by surprise there. That takes it to 64. It hasn't taken the lead, but Alliteration will not want to be falling foul for one of those moves again.
Yeah, it's always the sneaky pushes that catch you out on Rainmaker, and as Splash did just then. Didn't quite get the lead, as you say, but if Affordable aren't on their guard and that happens again, they could end up taking the lead for it.
Both sides really opting for this left-hand push. None of them want to go for the middle. None of them want to go for the right-hand side. And Ducker, wrong place, wrong time, my friend. That splash that you always... The second you see it, you're like, well, I'm going to have to go for it because I know I'm going down whatever happens. It is going to pop again in the side of Alliteration's color. There's a 4-2 advantage for Squidnappers as they try to force the back little by little. They're still very much around there. Ducker tries to get the splat, but wisely backs on out of it. Now they'll hop on up, try to get a pinch on the Rainmaker. Splashdown gives them some extra cover, and Ducker quickly rolls out of the way. Julie's doing what they do best and just rolling and being a nuisance to hit. Rainmaker is dropped again in that corridor. The Stingray will hop off.
You can see that Affordable Alliteration have a lot of control in this corridor right here, and they're just making the most of it. They still haven't got past the 46 mark yet, and we see the hammer coming through right there. Yeah, the control of that corridor is allowing them to just push him, but now we see Squidnappers trying to go for a push, but it gets stopped quite early on.
Trying to give themselves some kind of a little bit of a pause, a little bit of a break. Again, they've got the player advantage, but just everybody is respawning back on it, and it's a dangerous spot to be in. Has to quickly get the heck out of there for the missiles coming on down. Unfortunately, whoever picked up the Rainmaker picked the worst time to do it, because those missiles are always a force. Having said that, though, that could be a chance to a push, and they've got it into the 50s. This is getting closer and closer, and Alliteration need to be very consistent here. The Rainmaker is at least on their side of the field, so they know if they can hold it and run, they'll win this match, and that's exactly what Galactic has done. Popped it, taken it, ran, and won. Alliteration hanging on in there. That was a push from Squidnappers towards the end, but they just ran out of time, and it's going to be Alliteration who take the first point.
Very close game right there. And, I actually lost track of the time. It wasn't until they had the countdown 10, 9, 8 flashing on screen. I realized, whoa, at the end here. But yeah, I think if it was just a little bit more time, Squidnappers could have napped that. It was very close, wasn't it?
Very, very close indeed. And if anybody didn't see this splat tally at the end there, you might have missed that Oyasumi from Alliteration with 22 splats to their name throughout that 5-minute period, and that is a very spicy number to be having right there. And then just wonderful to see Alliteration working so hard to try and get that point in the end. And now we head on over to Anchovy Games, so we go from a chaotic mode type to a chaotic stage, since we're going to have a lot of platforms going forwards and back, and then forward and back, and then forwards and back again.
Of course, this is the one where you have the two fans on either side of the zone and lots of shenanigans around mid. It's quite it is quite claustrophobic. This is one of those, if I can get my words out, claustrophobic maps for Rainmaker, where you've got a lot of action in mid, and then, just coming up then towards the fans as well, lots of opportunities to be able to, sneakily flank, and then that can cause chaos. The fans cause chaos is basically what I'm saying. Fans cause chaos.
I mean, this is the Splatoon community you're talking about. Our fans cause chaos on a regular basis. But seriously though, we are getting ourselves into Splat Zones, our second match of our first round losers bracket. Back up in the yellow is Squid. We've got that mini Splatling coming on out. We've got an Explosion and a kitchen gun of some descript coming out from Alliteration. It's a heckin' bamboozler.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that does here, along with the Xbox. And speaking of which, we see Galactic right here again on the on that left-hand fan, and just trying to get some. But oh, very fast booyah bomb in the first 30 seconds, and that's going to give it to Squidnappers to start with here.
Yep, Squidnappers take the initiative and continue to hold on to it. Bowler had to come out to protect themselves from the oncoming hammer, and that is a lot of explosions in a space of a few seconds. And it goes in the advantage of Alliteration, who will absolutely hold their ground fast. And with that, will take the lead of their own accord. Inkstorm will do nothing to disrupt the flow of this matchup for the time being.
Yeah, so many specials right there in a short space of time, as we see Squidnappers now trying to, again, with all the specials, 2 booyah bombs and a hammer is most certainly, and they have taken back the zone. And yeah, just so many specials coming out in this game.
Yeah, it's like they're charging up quicker than we can really keep on top of, and with that, Squidnappers are looking to nap themselves a lead back at their disposal. The Fizzy is going to come out. Oyasumi pops in with the bubbles as well, and they stopped it right on the cusp of the lead, 62-61, and Oyasumi cannot transfer it into a full-on defense. They ran out of time and ran out of ink. They finally do have it now, but now they're going to have to get through the penalty points of their own. Oyasumi with that bamboozler quickly throws in the Fizzy Bomb, and they don't have that many penalty points to go through. They only need 4 points once they get through that, and that's the pro going on down for Squidnappers as well. This looks like the lead could go back to them, and it does.
Yeah, you got Affordable very swiftly taking the lead back right there. You did have Squidnappers who did have the, managed to get the lead for a short time, and here we go again now with them taking the zone. Just so much back and forth here. We see Splash, who's just trying to cover the one side, and they do have their booyah bomb. They're going to use it. I thought I saw some missiles as well. Yes, there were missiles there too. Oh my goodness, so you got Affordable now taking the zone again.
It is all happening here in this Splatoon match as we enter the second half. It's currently 57-46. Only 2 penalty points needed for Alliteration to start increasing that lead just a little bit. But we've got the Gal just on the zone trying their best to keep it away from them. The hammer and the Booyah will pop out. That takes it back into their swing of the things, and now the Booyah bomb is going to come up. Is that going to hit the side? It is going to hit the side, no matter where they flung that. It was always going to hit the side.
It turned out to be fortunate in the end because it ended up nabbing a splat for Han. So yeah, that was one of those cases where it was a blessing in disguise. And now we see Squidnappers do take the lead here, but we see the bubbles coming out from Affordable. Well, that caused complications along with the splashdown. So close to contest him, but not quite, as we see Splash just dancing around in the zone with the Booyah bomb. And they do manage to hold on. Oh, the hero shot goes down. I think this could well go Squidnappers' way, but I won't say anything just yet.
Yeah, could do. We're going to go into single digits for them, and this could tie the setup quite nicely if they're not careful. I don't think they're going to be able to. Junior does go down, and crucially, it's Squidnappers who managed to see themselves through the lead exchanged rapidly throughout the entirety of that match. But crucially, it is Squidnappers who hang on in there to tie the setup with a KO. And again, look at the stats on there. Evenly split between the two sides. Pretty much similar kind of splat ratios between the pair of them. Just goes to show how closely connected these two teams really are.
Yes, indeed. You had just so much back and forth. It almost seemed like a battle of the special coordination between the teams right there, where you had the bubbles for Affordable Alliteration along with a splash now, which could be a deadly combo. I mean, if you just space out the bubbles correctly and then you splash down the right place, then, bam, the zone's yours. No one can do anything about it, really. And then, meanwhile, for Squidnappers, they made extremely good use of the Booyah bombs. And, I think it was just a case of just special coordination that has won it for Squidnappers here, and very well coordinated too.
And it does mean that we now progress forward again. We're in that position. Only the second time we've been in this position on this stream today. It is 1 apiece, which means that match 4 will come up no matter what happens at this stage. And hey, that means we get more Rainmaker, which I'm going to look forward to. But we'll get to that in just a moment, because first and foremost, it's tower control. We take it to Macklemore. We saw how this played out in a previous set. But crucially for both of these two teams, it feels like, I don't know. I don't know whether to say that Nappers feel comfortable at this point, because Alliteration have been matching them every step of the way so far.
Yeah, I don't think this match is. I don't think you can call this match at all. It's gonna keep both teams on that. I don't think either team is gonna be comfortable at the moment. There's still, lots to play for.
2 blasters again on the side of Alliteration. That Kenza Rapid and the Luna coming on out to push them on this time round. We got a Tri-Slash. Heck, we got a Blaster as well on the side of Nappers. And guess what? They've already taken 2 splats and are already at the tower. No one is going to be able to contest that. That is the checkpoint done and dusted for the Squidnappers.
Yeah, 2 going down there from affordable Alliteration was crucial to get past that first checkpoint. But then we see Ducker right here with the bomb rush, and now it's time for affordable Alliteration's push. That push right back, and I gotta say, to get to 47 count this early is really good from Squidnappers. So we'll have to see if they can, if affordable Alliteration can push back strong.
And it looks like they're doing so. They had a wipe on their side of the field already, and they're already going to cruise past this first checkpoint as well. So let us see where we go from there. They've lost the Luna, but they've taken out the Tri-Slosher, make that their own Splattershore going down as well now. And I think they realize they just do not have the capacity to challenge this for the time being. The Enzab will hold on to the missiles for now, wait for the rest of their team to spawn back in, and now the missiles, I think, has been used up. You can see the Fizzy Bomb also located them. Stamp tries to come out, but they cannot protect themselves from the Rapid Blaster. And that is going to be the baller up as well. Just really managed to hold on to that tower there for dear life.
And awesome, now they had 3 people going down then from Squidnappers. So again, the picks there, and it's going to be, as I say that, Squidnappers get it right back. So really good defense there. We see Vargas trying to push up as well, ready for the counter attack. But unfortunately is going to go down to Goodnight, who subsequently goes down to Grimmat. So much back and forth here.
Yeah, it's just pick after pick after pick from both sides of the field. Mini Splatling tries to get a splat, but wisely gets the heck out of there because Bomb Rush Flush on the tower. As again, just one of those get the heck off the tower. You're not going on there for any more points, but Luna can only do so much. It has short range, and now it's a Blaster 1v1, and it does not go Luna's way. The Inkjet now comes on out. 4-2 advantage here for Squidnappers as they have control of the tower again. The Jet doesn't catch anybody else at this stage, but again, it keeps them at bay. They have lost the Tri-Slosher, and that is again going to be another drop on the side of Alliteration. And are my eyes deceiving me? Do we have a DC?
Yes, we do. The K-shot from affordable Alliteration has gone down, unfortunately, at this stage of the game.
Unfortunately, hate to see it. I don't know if that happened before we enter the second half or not, but in either case, the match is continuing by the looks of it, and obviously with that extra player advantage, Squidnappers are just trying to extend that lead. We will get confirmation as to what the rules will be once this matchup is all said and done, but the match is continuing for the time being, and obviously Alliteration, only 1 player left on the side for the time being. Checkpoint 2 is done and dusted. Squidnappers will take it past the 3rd and final checkpoint, and this will be a KO to end this matchup.
Yeah, unlucky there from affordable Alliteration getting the DC, but despite that, I think they did really well to to push up after the initial push from Squidnappers, because it was like they actually almost got to the point that Squidnappers got to, but then you had towards the end there, Squidnappers just continuing that one push and yeah, eventually getting the knockout, but we will get a check of the rules right now.
Yeah, just making sure to see whether or not this will be continuing from onwards, or if we are going to reset that point. Both teams very much to the wire between the pair of them, and it's always a lot of fun to be able to see both. It's great to see two very closely leveled teams going back and forth with matches like this. Obviously, the chaos can sometimes come out of nowhere, and that's just part of what makes Splatoon 2 a wonderful game to play and to commentate on. But yeah, it is awesome to see both these two teams join on in. And hopefully you at home who are watching along, whether you're watching this live as this happens or whether you are watching on the VOD for the playback as well, I hope you're all enjoying the action so far. It's been a blast up to this point. And hopefully we can continue to bring you more good old Splatoon 2 action. Remember that the winner of this cup does get themselves 1,000 Nintendo Gold points. That is for each member of their respective team currently playing today. So always nice to be able to see all of that happen on. And obviously, as a reminder to you all, that if you are watching this, if you are not able to make it into this competition today, do not worry, there are 2 more cups that you can still participate in. The next one being the Yellow Cup. That table will start on the 6th of November. That will run on the 6th, the 7th, the 13th, and the 14th, with a finals for that cup going on into the 20th of November, 3 days before my birthday. Would you believe it?
Happy birthday for them.
Thank you. It's going to be a busy month next month. Of that, there is no doubt. But yeah, if you want to take part yourself, the Splatoon Inkfest UK.co.uk is the website for you to visit. You can see all the things that happen. Heck, you can even keep on top of the current bracket that is happening right now if you are just joining us on in. Splattershore Riders made it to the semi-final by beating Affordable Alliteration by 3 points to 0. They then went on to defeat the Awesome Team by 3 points to 1 and booked their ticket into winners final. Me When I Chew It and Squidnappers both had buys through their respective rounds, and they met in the other semi-final. We had that one on first for the stream, which Chew It were able to beat Squidnappers by 3 points to 0. So the winners final will be coming up a little bit later on down the line. Splattershore Riders versus When I Chew It. The winner of that will make it into the grand finals. That both of those are already guaranteed to be in the top 3, since the loser of that will drop into the losers final, and we are currently in the losers bracket as we speak. The winner of this match will take on Awesome Team in losers round 2, which is essentially losers semi-final, and it is currently 1 apiece between Squidnappers and Affordable Alliteration. We are just currently waiting on confirmation as to what will be happening, since we did have a disconnect on Alliteration side in this matchup just now.
Yes, indeed. I was going to say, assuming that it goes to Game 4, what do you think possible strategy-wise? It's going to be Rainmaker Wahoo World, by the way, so just wondering what could both teams do in order to guarantee victory, I say.
Well, Wahoo World is a little bit more of a different stage than we've been seeing so far today, especially for Rainmaker with a Snap Canal. It's again one of those things where you're generally able to see and figure out what you want to be doing in that map, especially for Rainmaker. The other one we had was Blackbelly Skate Park, a little bit more condensed down. You've got different corridors on both of those sides, so you can see what's going on in the middle. You can't really see what's going on in the corridors, whereas with Wahoo World, there's a lot of places that you could be hiding around. Obviously, you've got the merry-go-round in the middle. You've got the platforms for above and below. Honestly, between these two, it's quite hard to figure out how this is going to go, because, you know, it pretty much went to time last time around. I would expect it to do so again. Some people say it's a little easier to push on Wahoo World because it's a little bit more open, because it's like once you drop on down from that top middle platform, it really does feel like a straightforward path towards the podium. But
yeah,
I think
just about.
both of these two teams have been really solid in their defense so far. So I feel like it could be. It'll be interesting to see how they defend that podium. I think it could go still either way.
Yeah, I think the backline is again going to be crucial for like whether they take the left hand curve route, which is the standard route that people take, or they go up the slick route, or like the up the sort of stairs route, where it's like it's shorter, albeit a little bit trickier. It's I think having a backline positioned around there, you know when there's a push is going to be a key part of defense for when it's trying to when trying to stop a push.
Also, that wonderful, wonderful moment when you are doing serious competition casting and all you can hear are kids screaming outside. It'd be like that though, and to be fair,
Maybe they're really excited for this next game.
yeah, they could be hearing what I'm going on about, and they're just getting into. To be fair, Halloween is tomorrow, so if you do have kids of your own, make sure they stay as safe as possible, and still have fun. Bearing in mind that we are still very much in the thick of things in terms of everything that's been happening over the past year or so. But seriously though, make sure you stay safe, but also have as much fun as you can, because it's good. It should be a good time. It should be a nice weekend, providing it doesn't rain anymore than it already
Hopefully
has.
not. It's been hammering down today where I'm absolutely tipping down heavens over. It was like 1 minute I looked outside and then went to do so, next minute just heavens opened down.
I mean, that's the UK in a wonderful little nutshell. It can be sunny one moment, it can then chuck it down the next.
Yeah, indeed. I was gonna say, what is your favorite chocolate? A little bit off topic, but since Halloween is tomorrow.
I was about to say that was a segue and a half, but it is connected to Halloween, so that is a fair point. My favorite kind of chocolate, probably white chocolate. But it also depends on the brand. It very much depends on the brand, because some is significantly better than others.
Me, I really like Galaxy Cookie Crumblets. Oh, it's so nice.
Wow, we're dropping branded chocolate names. I didn't realize.
I like the one that's named. Let's say the Nebula chocolate. Pretend I didn't say.
That's fine. Don't worry.
Universe chocolate. They'll know what I mean.
Universe. I like the chocolate that is universal. Yes, that makes sense. But no, seriously though, it's for the most part I could pretty much eat any chocolate. I do like specific ones. More than others. I mean, milk chocolate, you generally can't really go wrong with it. White chocolate has always been a favorite, but again, it depends on the brand. Dark chocolate I can eat, but it depends on how dark said chocolate is, because the ones that are like full on 100%, it's like...
Yeah, I'm not a fan either of like really dark, high concentration chocolate. But yeah, it's like milk chocolate's probably my favorite.
That's fair.
I do like white. Yeah, milk chocolate's my favorite. I tell you what, there was this one chocolate bar I can remember having as a kid where it was like Rice Krispies inside it. Was so nice.
Oh wow, that sounds like it would be nice actually.
And it took me ages to like track it down. It was really weird. It was like I couldn't find it anywhere at all online, but I knew it existed. It was really weird.
Yeah, I could definitely attest to that one. For the longest time when I was a teen, there was a milkshake that I would consistently drink, because it was it had only just brought it out. It was like a white chocolate variant. The brand of these milkshakes are generally pretty thick as it is, so it's just like when they released the white chocolate version, I was like, this is so nice, and I love this. And then they stopped doing it. And then when I remember talking to somebody about this like a few years back, they were like, what? That never existed. I'm like, no, this existed. I remember drinking this. This was not a dream that I made. It was 100% a thing, alongside a white chocolate bar that was like a white chocolate version of fudge. I think it was like, I will brand drop at this point. I think it was called like Milky Bar Chews. I think it was called, where it was just basically a fudge bar, but it was white chocolate with pretty much the same kind of thing. And I was just like, and again, when I mentioned that, people were like, what? I don't remember that. And I'm like, oh, I remember that. I was in school and I would always go for those. So
I tell you another one as well, like tomato sauce crisps. I can remember trying those abroad, and it was just
I definitely remember seeing
it
those
was
around.
it was like it was different.
I
would
looked
say,
at
like,
it
it
and
was
went,
different.
no, I will not be happy.
Same with the they did like a competition, this one company, like probably the most famous round of crisps there. But yeah, anyways, they did like a competition, like all these different flavors, and there was like a fish and chips one,
Huh.
and
Oh,
it
yeah, I
was
remember
like
that.
probably the worst crisps I've ever tasted in my life. They were just does not work. Salt and vinegar I can just about stomach, but fish and chips crisps, oh.
Yeah, that was
So I
not
wouldn't mind
great.
trying pizza ones though, because you know me and pizza.
I'm gonna get me some pizza. We do. Yes. So to bring everybody back up to speed, Alliteration had a player drop in the previous matchup, which was Makomart Tower Control. No. Yes, Makomart Tower Control.
Yes, it was.
I don't know why I hesitated on that. I'm like, no, I was right. Like, come on, believe myself a little bit more. But basically, Alliteration had a player drop. I think it was just about at the halfway mark. Both teams have agreed to replay this match, so the score stays at 1 apiece, and we'll be jumping back into Makamot Tower Control. The general rule, and I hope that both these two teams do acknowledge this, they have to keep their respective weapons and gears to keep things as fair as possible.
Yep, that's the way we like it as we get in here. But of course, there is nothing to say that you have to keep the same strategy. So it'll be interesting to see if either team does things a little bit differently this time around as we get in right here.
So yeah, our tower control match will restart. And remember, Squidnappers had a really good, strong push in the previous matchup. So let's see if they can emulate it. They're not actually being as aggressive this time around, although the Tri-Slosher is still going to be up there as support. But they are going to get dropped in the nick of time. And once the Unterstamp does come out, crucially, this push and this start has not quite gone Squidnappers' way this time around. They only managed to push it for 9 points. It's just the Tri-Slosher left. And that is surely going to be a very quick repush and lead for Alliteration. Although, having said that, they lost 2 of their own here. So whilst they will take the lead, the question is, can they take the checkpoint? The baller got bunched straight off that thanks to the blaster. And they still can't quite get to that checkpoint. And that is a really good defense in the end for Squidnappers.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say as well, 2 going down on either side, and that's within a very short space of time as well, like 30 seconds. You had 2 going down on either side on separate occasions. But we see the affordable alliteration right here. Getting the specials out, just trying to get towards that first checkpoint and taking it back. But we do see Squidnappers now resending it back to mid. I think they're just trying to get the ground they possibly can right here. But now they got to go on defense mode again.
Yeah, turf coverage is always what you need. It's not only getting you back into the action quicker, but it gets those specials charged up. And checkpoint 1 is nearly done and dusted, and there it is. It's going to be Alliteration who are the first to break the first checkpoint. Tri-Slosher and the Mini Splatling are down. Ducko, unfortunately, a little helpless with the suction button rush going on out, and that is going to be the Tri-Slosher getting the 1-2 well. Probably gets the follow-up on the squid jump as well. And that's going to start bringing this back towards the middle, but unfortunately, they did not keep their eyes open for Yasumi, and they are going to put this back on their own sum. Pretty much staying on the tower, gets it to 55, almost at that halfway mark, but I think realized the blaster was on the horizon and allows themselves to finally go down at the hands of the blaster. And that is going to be the halfway mark already for Alliteration, so already significantly better than the previous match.
Yes, absolutely. Affordable alliteration right here. Going up to the halfway mark of the halfway point of this game. But Squidnappers are going to look to try and get some ground in mid and push up again. Although it looks like Affordable Alliteration is doing a great job of defending mid as they now start their next push right here.
Yeah, Galactic wisely getting the heck out of there, trying to assist their teammate as they come jumping back on in. To be fair, it is a safe jump in the end. 2 minutes pretty much left on the clock, and again the blaster on the side of Knappers are down. So too is the pro. Not what you want to be seeing, and that is almost a wipe at this stage. It's just the mini Splatling left as Alliteration continued their push. Squidnappers had such a good first push in the first half on their previous go on this mode. Be a little frustrated. They just can't seem to get out of their own spawn at the moment.
Yeah, again, staggered in spawn is not the best, but I think if they try and re-coordinate and push in together, then they'll be right back on track. And as I say that, they're up to the first checkpoint finally.
Yeah.
And it looks like they might even get past it as well, but we see Goodnight. Oh, not quite on tower, and Grimman getting that hammer out right there. Are they going to get past it? Yes, they do in the end, and also get a pick right there. It's going well for Squidnappers now.
Yeah, I was getting a little concerned that the hammer was just consistently hitting the pillar and forcing them off, but crucially, they're through it now, and Baggerus is going to hold on, and they've retaken the lead! They've taken the lead with just 1 minute left on the clock. That was the push that Squidnappers needed. Yes, it's a wipe, and it's going to be straight back onto them to have to quickly come back up for defense. But that is exactly what they needed to do.
Yes, indeed. That is exactly the kind of response that Squidnappers needed after getting staggered in spawn. And now the ball is in for Alliteration's court, but they are going to push very hard. As we can see here, we got a baller on tower. It's going to be a little tricky to... Vargas is just going to try and... but he's outnumbered. And it's so close here there. But then they're all gone. Oh, wait, no, there's still one there.
Oh, yeah, still there. That is lead.
My goodness.
How has that happened? I thought for sure Splash was able to just about save it, but Ayasumi was able to just be the only one there. And that is going to be another pretty much wipe. They're all on the tower, and Alliteration left it with 15 seconds left on the clock. And Oyasumi saving Alliteration and taking the lead by 2 points to 1.
What a twist. Yeah, you had affordable Alliteration right there, who looked to have the most control in the first half of that game. But then Squidnappers, after being staggered a little bit towards the end, managed to get the push that they so desperately needed just before the final minute to take the lead. But then towards the end there, you had Awesome just getting a massive push, and just when you think everyone is gone, in comes Iyasumi or Goodnight, and just it was literally Goodnight that won the game for them.
Oh my goodness. It was just like I was watching the entire thing happen, and the baller was perfectly placed on the tower, and Splash, obviously, they've got the pro. They can force the baller off just by hitting it, which is exactly what they did. And it felt like Splash was gonna be able to be the anchor that Squidnappers needed. Bearing in mind, shout out to Splash, 21 splats in that matchup, with Yasumi getting 24 on the other side. So both teams are so close to each other at this stage, but just no one was able to catch Oyasumi just sneaking on by. And it's moments like
It's
that.
all it takes. If one person manages to sneak by and push, that's all it takes at the end of the day. It's like you could tell that Oyasumi even, and Splash were like the best players for each team in that scenario. But yeah, it's like it's all about the plays, isn't it? And Goodnight with that last second push on the tower sealed victory for them. But is it going to be victory altogether for this set? We'll have to find out.
We will soon find out. Rainmaker is the name of the game, and bearing in mind that Alliteration won Rainmaker earlier in this set to take the lead initially. So can they do it again, this time on Wahoo Wall? What are the matchup? Whoa, my gosh, that's a tent. We got a tent in this one. The tent comes on alongside the custom squad and, of course, the pro as well. So interesting lineup from both sides of the field. To be fair, Squidnappers haven't really changed their weapon selection at all. Nobody has popped the Rainmaker just yet. It just keeps going back and forth, and I think it would be this close. And in fact, both teams suffering casualties, and Galactic really trying to go up close and personal, realizes it's not happening. They do not have the firepower. Quickly gets away from the mini Splatling. They do still have the range at their disposal.
Yes, indeed. You got both teams just feeling each other out in mid, not wanting to pick up the Rainmaker straight, which is very sensible. Now we see Squidnappers making a mad dash towards the center room, although they are coming into 3 of Team Affordable Alliteration's teammates, and that is going to be the end of their push.
Yeah, Yasumi with that hammer. Good night indeed, and the bubbles are going to come out as well just to give themselves a little bit of extra turf coverage, and now it's going to be Alliteration's turn. The first push for Squidnappers took us to 61, and that tent is very good to be that big old shield, that big old wall, but Splash will have nothing to do with that. Now it's going to be another Splat on their side as well. And so too does the Booyah Bomb, and so too does Alliteration's push stop right there and then. 86 to 61. That is the team's first respective pushes of the match. And it's going to be Squidnappers who are looking to go again. And despite Splash going down, Cameron does as well. And this still, yeah, could be a decent push. No, it's not, because the Stingray is there.
Yeah, that Stingray putting in work right there, doing well to stop the push. And here comes Affordable now with their next push. And they're going to, the fake out to the left almost works, and so close to taking that lead, but it's not over yet as we see Galactic gonna pick it up and then finally take the lead. But yeah, that little fake out right there, that almost worked. It paid off in the end though.
And now they are literally, they can see the podium. They have a 2-player advantage, and I think Galactic knows they can go for it, but they drop down right in front of the wrong person. Not what you want to see, and it gives Squidnappers one more chance at defending this situation. The Booyah Bomb will come up and neutralize this field just a little bit, and suddenly Squidnappers now have the turf advantage. And look at who's going for a prowl. Vagras tries to get a little aggressive there, but went too aggressive, got taken down as the blaster, but crucially, Squidnappers are able to pick up the Rainmaker, and it is just Oyasumi who is left with the tent. They're still doing damage, and Grim gets the heck out of there. Rainmaker free zone, and you don't want to be there for too long. Thankfully they aren't. And now we begin again. But they're kind of on their own a little bit. They don't want to be pushing up too far without some form of backup.
Yes, indeed, especially at a time like this. Now we got the last 2 minutes. Oh, and what a push. Vargas making a path. Grimmet. Oh, again, it's like now on the opposite side of the map. So close for Squidnappers, and it looks like Affordable Alliteration now have the Rainmaker in their hands. But yeah, very well played. Vargas making the path right there. Just not quite making it past the lead. And now Galactic is just absolutely going for it. Going up to the left-hand side of the Squidnappers turf. Ends up going down, but that's just made life harder now for Squidnappers to push out. Oh, and the push is still going. Push was still going for Affordable Alliteration. And Goodnight coming in as well with the hammer.
Oh, no.
It's just going to make life harder. Are they got... Oh, wait, no. It's still all to play for, it seems.
Yeah, Squidnappers just continue to try and stall this out for as long as possible. It's like picking it up, even though it's not a great position to do so. It means that they have to re-pop the shield again, and it gives Squidnappers extra time to respawn back in. Tri-Soldier gets up close and personal and takes down the Rainmaker. Cameron has the Stingray as backup, but the Stingray is too focused, and that's the Stingray down, and surely Squidnappers will try and find a way through, but Oyasumi again just saying goodnight to every single person that they come into confrontation with. The wall back up with that Brawler. It'll take so much damage, a trade in the end, and the Rainmaker is still with Alliteration. Down it goes again. It's staying in Squidnappers' half. The Squadron is the only one left alive at this point, and with 23 seconds to go, it's all or nothing now for Squidnappers. There's 1 point in it. They've got to do something here. The Inkjet will come out and does get a splat crucially, but they've lost the Rainmaker. They've lost it back again. There's only 2 people left on the field, and surely that is going to do it. They'll drop them down. They have no idea Galactic is there, and that will be that. Over and done. Alliteration win this set by 3 points to 1.
Wow, just so close again. It's like it really is a case of the end result doesn't tell the story. It's the actual games themselves, and just the two occasions for both teams where it was like 1 point in it, but ultimately you had Affordable Alliteration coming out on top there. But yeah, very good effort from Squidnappers because they almost made it even.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Squidnappers to have to go down like that. Able to bring that to 1-1 in the first place. Took the tower control win. Unfortunately, the disconnect did happen just before the halfway mark, so the match was reset, which Alliteration then managed to turn it back around. And that Rainmaker, all they needed to do was touch it at that point after they dropped it at 28 initially, but unfortunately they just could not do so. And Squidnappers will unfortunately be our first casualty in this double elimination event today. They will be the first to fall by 3 points to 1 against Affordable Alliteration, who now progress into the next round. They will go up against the Awesome Team in the losers round 2, which is essentially losers semifinals.
Yes, indeed, and it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams come up against each other. Awesome, as those of you watching along know, went out against Splattershore Riders 3-1, funnily enough. So, yeah, just having a look at, the team members for Awesome, where you've got where they use the Octobrush, in the Clan Blitz game, along with the Lunar Blaster. We were like, oh, wow, it's a Lunar Blaster in a competitive, but it did work out well for them in that Clan Blitz game, and even in Rainmaker as well, I'd say. So yeah, it's just going to be interesting how Affordable Alliteration will, how they will handle that, team comp of weapons from Awesome.
Well, they've done well so far to be able to get this far. But you never know. You never know, and especially because of the fact that we've got a brand new set of matches and modes to come, and obviously the winner of this will be officially on the podium for the Green Cup as well. Just to give you all an update as to where we'll be starting, it'll be Clan Blitz, Snapper, Canal. We saw Snapper for Rainmaker, now we see it for Clams. And pretty much a similar kind of strategy you'd be looking at if you were doing Snapper Rainmakers, as the barrier is pretty much relatively near the same point. But crucially, you really have to have your eyes peeled, because there's so many different ways you can challenge the barrier in Clan Blitz. And if you thought trying to go the long way around with the Rainmaker on the left-hand side was a risky strategy in and of itself, now just think about a brush trying to go up in that same area, going towards the barrier. It's going to be pretty spicy if anybody decides to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot to think about when defending Clan Blitz on this map, where and I suppose with attacking as well, because you've got more options. So it's just trying to think, should we all go the same route, or should we split up the clams between us and go separate routes, or just so many possibilities,
The possibilities are endless.
Yes.
And we wouldn't have it any other way. Again, we're getting ourselves ready for the losers semi-finals. After this, we'll be going back up to the upper bracket to see what the finals will be looking like, since obviously the loser of that match will drop down into losers finals, where they will play the winner of this respective matchup between Awesome Team and Affordable Alliteration. So do not worry, fans of Splattershore Riders and When I Chew It, those two teams will be up after this best of 5 match is done and dusted. And I guess a special mention to those two teams, because especially for Chewits, they were the first ones to play on stream today. They probably had the longest wait out of everybody to get themselves back into the field. So hopefully you've been enjoying the show on your rest down, and we'll hopefully have you back up very soon.
Yes, indeed. I was going to say, the next map after this one is Splatzone's Humpback Pump Track. That's a hectic one, isn't it?
Humpback Puncher is always a great map to be able to play on. It's just so many curves, so many twists. You've got a lot of different places you can really take advantage of, especially if you decide to be on that lower part of the wall. Like, yes, you've got the sniping potential from those areas, but even a tri-slosher could pretty much yoink ink up into those lower wall sections. So it's like there's a lot of different things that you have to play around with on a stage like Pump Track. And for the splat zones, again, every nook and every angle of that middle area you have to cover up to be able to take it. So it's always a very fun map to watch, let alone play on.
I feel like it's the one of the Splat Zones maps with like you can have the most back and forth as well, and considering like how close the recent matches we have been today, it's like I think that'll be the one with the most back and forth on any Splat Zones game that we watched so far. Although that one game in I forgot the name of the map now. Why is my mind gone blank?
Are you on about Anchovy?
Anchovy, thank you. I was thinking arcade in my head, arcade, and I was like, no, it's not arcade games. It's Anchovy games. Thank you.
Well, technically, it is arcade games because that's the in-game game company that works there. So yes, you were right.
I was almost there. But yeah, that one was a lot of back and forth, wasn't it?
That's to be fair, those kind of matches always do go back and forth. Sometimes you'll have one-sided splat zones, but when it comes to stages like Anchovy and as you say for Humpback, they can really go either way, and it's great fun to be able to see this because obviously, especially with Humpback, if you think about how the stage layout is, once you spawn, you can pretty much see what's going on and make a beeline straight for that center. You got a different couple of angles to be able to fire onto the actual zone itself. So it's a very nice map to be able to play on. But that will be for then. This will be for now. We're just waiting on one member to join on in, and then we'll be able to get this set. That is absolutely fine. Good old Conroe. It's always great to be able to see them play around. Again, I feel like it needs stressing more than anything else. But like with any other game, with any other competitive environment, there's always going to be people that first, like from other people, or the friends that almost immediately when you get into the community. I know my first foray into the Splatoon 2 competitive scene, one of my first friends that I made was Splash, because of the area that we were in local at the time. Conroe was one of those where I found them via Nintendo Players UK, and being able to meet them in person was an absolute blast. So it's like, I've been able to get to know a number of these people, then watch them grow throughout their days with the Splatoon scene. So it's like, I always look forward to seeing them play. Like I said, it's sad that Splash is out, but they were doing incredibly well consistently in the 20s with those splats towards the end. So they were putting a lot of work, and the same is really very much said of Conroe. Conroe, again, Sirens aren't really a team anymore, but Conroe was always a force to be reckoned with in that team.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be really, really fun to watch him again today. Really, like, as you were saying, just like over the years, you get used to, you make friends, you watch them, grow. And yeah, Conroe is like, he's one of the best players in the UK community, I'd say. So yeah, always never pass down an opportunity to watch him play.
And with that, we're gonna get ourselves ready. Everybody's pretty much locked. Well, I say everyone's locked in, ready to go. Awesome team is locked in and pretty much ready to go. We're just waiting on Alliteration to confirm what they want to be bringing to the table for Clan Blitz Snapper Canal again. Expect to see some bubbles. Expect to see maybe an ink armor in there as well. I mean, having said that though, we've been seeing a fair share of inkjets throughout today's stream, which again, a lot of people like to be able to use that to sort of like bait players towards their teammates so that they can get that final splat, or just stall them in their spawn. Like, just because you don't get a splat with the Inkjet doesn't mean you're not getting value out, which is always important to stress.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that people are starting to get used to in competitive now, where you don't have to get splats with Inkjets, as you were saying. It's just a sort of distraction, if you like, for it's like the danger that it poses is enough to cause a stir.
And with that, our matchup is underway. Awesome team in the yellow, Alliteration in the blue. And there's a Squiffer on the field. Now that is a rare sight. The Squiffer makes an appearance and a brush on either side. It'll be the Octobrush versus the Inkbrush. And that is going to be a very interesting matchup. Obviously, the Inkbrush, the faster of the two. The Octobrush, the more powerful of the two, will be the Squiffer starting to do their wonderful, I say their wonderful thing. The Squiffer got taken down by the splatter scope of Carrot. With the Stingray almost charged up and ready to go. Galactic with the 4-point. And unfortunately, not able to reach Carrot from there. That scope does give them that little bit of extra edge. And the Stingray is up and ready to go.
Just witnessed Camex then doing a quick hit and run, if you like, on the Octobrush before like going around, and then ended up getting the super climb, but just missing it there. And now we see Conroe with his special ready to roll, and yeah, that was a missed opportunity for Affordable right there.
Yeah, good. And you can already see that, again, very much even Stevens in the first part of this matchup. Again, the Ink Rail is a key thing to keep a track of, especially in Clam Blitz, because you can easily just jump on up and slam that power clam down on your own accord. And unfortunately, the Inkjet chopped straight in front of the Squiffer shot. And that was just unfortunate timing for the Squiffer. Octo having to wait it out patiently, finally gets the clams. They got their teammate to boot. A couple more will give themselves the power clam, and that will be the barrier broken on the other side of the field.
Yes, indeed, but I'm not sure if Affordable Alliteration are going to get any clams. They don't. So it seemed like it was in vain, but hey, at least it's a start.
I don't think it was really in vain, because let's face it, Awesome Team had a power clam set and ready to go, and Alliteration beat them to the punch, and now they've got to do it all over again. Now they do break it, and they retake the lead almost immediately, so didn't quite work the way that Alliteration would have liked him to, but crucially, they've at least managed to stop the barrier from getting any further penetrated. 57-80 as we enter the second half.
Indeed, and you can see there's a lot of ink now around Affordable Alliteration. That's going to be important for the for defense while they collect some clams, of course, on 17 right now. But we do see Awesome Team just picking up a few along the way. I feel like they're waiting for the right moment to really push and counterattack here, as we see Conroe with the 9 clams sneaking into the base. Will anybody be there to support him with one extra clam? I'm not sure, but he's coming up with the Inkjet right here. Just waiting around and just maybe looking for a pick, but there is some ink armor. Oh, and the well-placed bomb will take him out.
Yeah, unfortunate for that, but that is the kind of pressure you like to see being put onto the enemy team.
Oh.
Unfortunately, Oyasumi is going to take down Octo, and the barrier is going to be broken as well. Pops the missile. They've got 5 clams of their own. If they can put in some additional pointage, they'll absolutely take it in. But in fact, Oyasumi went for the 1v1 instead of throwing in the clams. And had they at least thrown one in there, they may have taken the lead. But as a result, it's 57-58.
Very close, but just it is all to play for right here. We have 20 clams from Awesome Team, and they do have a super, or make that 2 super clams ready to go. So will they be able to extend that lead and make it just a little bit harder for Affordable Alliteration? Octo with the first super clam. Conroe, will he be able to? Oh, just that. That was lucky that the Inkjet finished there, and he does eventually get the super clam in. Very nice lead right there.
Yeah, very good. Pretty much past the 30 mark as well, on to 29. Only 40 seconds left of this matchup as well. So very good push there from the Awesome Team, and that makes it 29-58. Alliteration now have it all to do. They've got a pity clam all the way back at their own base. So as long as somebody is holding on to that, once we hit 0, overtime will be initiated. And I think Awesome Team will know that if they could just tidy things up now and maybe just keep themselves stalled. Remember, Octo has 9 of their own. Takes out the barrier, the beacon. 5 seconds left on the clock. They're going to try and just interrupt them immediately, but unfortunately got
here comes
too
Kamex.
aggressive, and this is going to be dangerous.
Kamex getting the ball. Oh!
Well, that tells you everything you need to know. Unfortunately, Awesome Team decided to get a little too aggressive. They didn't really need to push on in with that 9 clam advantage. And unfortunately, the second 2 went down. The push from Alliteration came swift and fast. And Kamex started the charge there, and that will be a 1-point lead in the set for Alliteration. Very well played, very patiently played there from Alliteration. Took their moment, and they absolutely didn't waste it.
Amex, what a play right there. That's why you don't underestimate Brushes in Clam Blitz, because, you know, he managed to quickly chuck in the super clam, and then his teammates, of course, closely behind him, just swooped in and ended up taking that. I couldn't believe that then. It was so fast. It was like a blink and you miss it moment.
And now we get ourselves set for Splat Zone's Humpback Pump Track. I don't think we'll be seeing Brushes make a resurgence here, although I haven't said that. Sometimes they can work depending on the special at play, but again, we're very much trying to focus on being able to cover that zone at any angle, and of course, being very aware that we might see the odd long-range weapon here and there, because again, some really good vantage points on this map that you can take advantage of. It looks like both teams are pretty much set and ready to go, except for Galactic. Galactic just taking the time, figuring out what they actually want to slot on in with, especially with an open map like Humpback.
Yeah, weapon choice is going to be important for such a close-knit map, should we say, in mid. So it's important to think about, you know, like what frontline weapons to use, as we see some Kensadulis coming out right here for Awesome Team, along with an Explosher, K-Pro, and Junior. Meanwhile, for Affordable, looks like we got a K-Shot, well, lots of Kensa weapons, so we say, as long as an Explosher.
Yeah, both sides opting for the same Explorer, which is always nice to see, so really preferring that long range, and it's going to be Alliteration who starts the better of the two, able to get down not one but 2 splats on their side of the field. And already again, the Gal is hanging on to their special. The Kensa shot not hanging on to theirs at all, popped it almost immediately. And already just a very strong start for Alliteration. Carrot trying to find their way in, but Ducker is just going to pop the Inkjet, come straight over the baller. Will at least give one protection, but it certainly won't protect the other. The Pro is going to go down. Crucially, neither of them do fall to the Inkjet. And again, ballers both exploding on the zone. It almost went into Awesome Team's favor, and it may still yet do. It finally does. They finally get themselves a wipe on the board. And that was starting to look a little bit scary for them, but crucially, they stopped it at 36.
Yeah, crucial stop right there coming from Awesome Team. It's and a very good push as well from Alliteration. Love the battle with the ballers in mid then, just before their push was finally stopped. And now we see Octo just sharking around the zone, making sure to defend. Oh, we do see a baller and Booyah Bomb combo, and that's going to get Affordable Alliteration back into the zone.
And not only that, it kept them the splats on the side as well. It's just Carrot with the Explosion left on the side, and they're going to get pinned down if they're not careful. The wall is out as well. They are not going to get the help they're looking for. Yasumi gets themselves another splat on the board, and that keeps the lead at their side for the time being. A rogue splat grenade just quickly forced them to hop on back, and that is going to concede the zone as a result. But yeah, really good combination, really good coordination from Alliteration to throw in the Booyah Bomb, which covers such a wide area, and then the baller for that big old explosion. Now, here comes another Booyah for good measure. Gets not one, but 2 splats. And a beautiful performance for Mayasumi once again, keeping control of that zone in the favor of Alliteration.
Yeah, very nice control there from Oyasumi, and we see now that Affordable just hanging on the zone. It's just back and forth here. Once Awesome Team get rid of that penalty, it will be very tense moment for the defense of Affordable Alliteration, and we see Conroe getting a pick on Oyasumi. Back in the zone, looks like Awesome Team have good control, and then Ducker goes down to Conroe as well. Here we go, 43, 42. Time is tick-tocking. We got people jumping in zone. And it's going to be very close, and they do just about manage to take it, though we do see Affordable Alliteration take it a second, but no, Awesome Team still in control right here, and man, I'm speechless. They managed to hold on right there, Awesome Team.
Just about, but it's only the explosion left. Somehow, they're keeping it in control for just a couple more ticks. Heck, they got a splat on there. Finally, Oyasumi does have the turf coverage to finally pop it onto their favor, but unfortunately, they could not take control for longer than that because the rest of Awesome Team came spawning back in way quicker than I think they anticipated. 1 minute 20 on the clock. Finally, they wrestle control back away, but they can't seem to keep it for longer than a few seconds. Awesome Team are doing, and well,
an awesome job.
An awesome job. Yeah, I was. And hello everyone, welcome on back to the Splatoon Inkfest competition. We're in the Green Cup. We are about to start winners finals between Splattershore Riders and Chewits. Remember that this is still best of fives and our double elimination. This will decide who will be in the grand final and who will have to do another matchup to determine whether they can make it there themselves. I am, of course, your girl TK Layla. Louis Boy is still joining me on commentary. We do apologize for that unfortunate pause. Things like these do happen, and to be fair, it wouldn't be any kind of esport competition and or tournament without some form of technical hitch that has to happen. So apologies for that. Your patience will now be rewarded with the next continuation of our tournament. Louis, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. Looking forward to watching this winners final kickoff right here as we go into game one, which is going to be Muscle Forge Fitness Rainmaker. Should be an interesting one to start with, as it's a little tricky to get up onto the totem pathway, the final push here.
It's always nice just to be able to start with Rainmaker, to be fair. Always for it. And to be fair, looking at the arsenal on their display, again, a lot of close quarter combat weapons you'd expect to see. The Junior Kenza, the T-Tag, the Zap. We've got a Junior on the other side of the field. We've got the Julies coming out, the lights. Should be specifically mentioned there. And also that Kenza Pro, but also look at that, it's a wipe already, and guess who is just mowing on down on the right hand side? That is going to be a very quick dash.
Pizza time!
Pizza ahoy! Almost immediately!
Pizza time! Great.
My goodness me. Blink and you miss it. The match is already done and dusted, and that is a 1-0 lead already for Chewits.
Oh my god, I didn't record it. Oh. the one time. But that was amazing. I think I had like Chano there pushing up, getting 2 picks to start with, and then that just sent the ball rolling. You had the path going then from the rest of Chewits, and then yeah, bam, pizza time.
Gosh, that was blink and you miss it action. And to be fair, you know, Chewits have been waiting around a while. I feel like they took all of their frustration out onto Splattershore Riders. Because that was just like, oh yes, look at this. Nobody has really taken any splats yet. No sooner had I thought about that.
That's
like,
what it's starting.
You can't really like dissect things that happen in that 30 seconds because Chewits had it done and dusted like that. By the time Splattershore had managed to respawn the rest of the team back in, they were already pretty much up by the podium, and all of the ink flying in the world just couldn't hit the one person who was carrying that Rainmaker. So we're done with that. 30 seconds done and dusted. We move rapidly over onto Anchovy Games. It's Splatoon time, and something tells me that this is going to be A very dangerous one for Splattershore to be going up against with those dualies come flinging on back in. Splattershore Junior, the Kent Pro, the Neo Splash. Chewits pretty much know exactly what they want to be doing here. Meanwhile, the remix Splatterlane coming back on out for Splattershore. It's going to be Chewits who tries to take the initiative and do so as we start the Splattershore match.
Yes, indeed. We got IPS getting a nice pick there and getting straight onto the zone as well. Getting the armor out fast too. Now we see. Oh, I think that was AKD trying to sneak in on the right hand side, but unfortunately, no luck there. As we see IPS getting another pick just on fire right, but we do see the Booyah Bomb coming in to the zone and is going to test. Oh, but the splats from the bombs from IPS, he's just putting in lots of work right here.
Not holding anything back as we tick on past the halfway mark, and this could be a coast to coast here for Chewits if this continues. Ink armor deployed, and again, two people already down on the side of Splattershore. Booyah comes up, but it's not near the zone, and it's not helping them get out of their own zone anytime soon into single digits. And Chewits coast to coast this quite easily, in fact, and they already have a 2-0 lead.
Yes, wow, they're doing like a speed run right here, making quick work of Splattershore riders. I was gonna say that their like offensive line they just pushed up towards the end there. They were very confident in their turfing and attacking abilities, and we saw IPS just go in for it right there. And getting all the armors out, getting the picks, it was just what they needed. And now they're looking very confident here as we go into tower control.
Yeah, tower control main stage. First time we're seeing Starfish main stage on stream today. And obviously, lives up to its name. It's exactly what you would expect it to be like. And that's how we'll start right on in that central area. I don't really see Chewits really mixing things up anytime soon, and it looks like both teams are set and ready to go. I think that with that being said, I don't think either of them really might have changed that much. They locked in pretty quickly. You would expect to probably see the Splatling make an appearance on a map like this, on a mode like Tower Control as well. So it looks like we're going to see just exactly that. It is indeed the remix Splatling there. And we got the custom dualies coming on out on the side of Chewits as well. I think we've got two sets of dualies, if my eyes are not deceiving me.
Yes, indeed. That is the Empire dualies right there with the Inkjet and Curling Bomb in hand. And we see the armor so fast, 15 seconds or thereabouts coming out from IPS as they are just slowly edging forwards right here. Oh, and I say slowly edging. Did I say slowly edging? They got a wipe right there. It's all on for Chewits.
Yeah, nothing slow about that. Chew is just chewing up everyone in sight. And the Inkstorm is set and ready to go. Checkpoint 1 is probably going to be done and dusted before Splattershore even know what hit them. And you just see the amount of pressure that Chewits have put on them. The Inkjet is up on the right hand side of your screen. The NZAP goes down, but so too do the Imperi. But again, that's checkpoint 2 done and dusted. IPS is just on their own on the tower. Finally, they do go down by AKD. But again, Chew on hand. It's just the NZAP left, and that's going to coast them beautifully towards the third and final checkpoint. Chew with the range takes them down with ease. That will be the final checkpoint done and dusted. By the looks of it, has to quickly hop on off to make sure they get their covered. And that is going to be another quick KO and speed run indeed. Chewits Mafia are going to take this by 3-0 and are straight through to the grand finals.
Yep, absolutely formidable team right here. There's a reason why they won the last cap, and they're putting it on display here for all to see. And just from the first game with that with that pizza time, they prove that they still mean business here. They're not holding anything back.
Not holding anything back indeed. And so with that, Chewits will be rated in the grand final. They want to take home that prize of 1,000 Nintendo Gold points for each of the players on their team competing today. Meanwhile, for Splattershore, well, it means that they're going to have to dip into the losers final, where they will take on the winner of Awesome Team or Affordable Alliteration. Now, unfortunately, when we were in that match, unfortunately, that's when the stream came to an abrupt end mid-match as well. So they are currently finishing off that set as we speak. Once we have the results, we will give them all to you, and then we can advance with the cup in full fruition. Hopefully you've all been enjoying your time with us so far. Again, apologies for that, but we are now back and live. I think everything is running relatively smoothly now, but yeah, for Chewits, they're going to be quite the team to be. They're looking to make this 2 for 2, and if they're not careful, they're going to try and win every single cup in this series.
Yes, indeed. And I think that's what they're going for sure. And I'm just trying to think, like, it's the coordination, it's the sweat, it's just like everything you'd want from a Splatoon team. They got, they've got it. They with their pushes, it just seems like the ideal team for this to win this tournament, or so it seems.
So it would seem. And as for Splattershore, they've had some pretty nice matches so far to get to this point, beating Alliteration 3-0, beating Awesome Team by 3 points to 1, which ironically enough, both of those two teams are the ones currently doing their set as it speaks. It looks like they're just wrapping up the last game as it stands, so hopefully we'll have this match set and ready for you in just a moment. But you would feel like Splattershore will be happy regardless of which of these two teams they will end up going up against. Although having said that, conceding the game against Awesome Team and seeing how well Alliteration have done so far in their previous couple of sets as well, you feel like the momentum might start going towards the team that are currently playing at the moment. But again, you would think that Splattershore won't mind too much which one they go up against.
Yeah, that's right. I think despite that last game for match, even for Splattershore going quite fast, I'm not sure if it'll affect their momentum actually, since it went so fast. There wasn't enough time to for it to sink in, if you like. And with the team coming from the lower bracket round 2 side, they could it could go both ways, honestly. It's like, if since they're playing right now, and they've had, I'm guessing it's a lot of back and forth there. Of course, we'll see in a moment. But that'll allow them to then just jump right into the next match, like fully in the zone, if you like, coming off that win. Then again, if it is going back and forth a lot, maybe maybe it's worn them down a bit. Who knows?
Well, we are about to find out, as we do have confirmation that it is the Awesome Team that advances through. So we will not be seeing Alliteration anymore today, and we will not be seeing OSME even more. They have had to say goodnight officially this time around. So it will be Splattershore Riders going up against the Awesome Team, which will be coming up for our losers final. Remember that these are all best of 5s all the way to the finish. The winner of this match will take on Chewit in the grand final of the Green Cup. We are going to start our losers final with Tower Control on Anchovy Games. So not Splat Zones this time around. We've seen a couple of zones matches on Anchovy. Tower Control makes it that little bit different.
Yeah, it's I'd say again, up past that checkpoint 1 can be quite a challenge. So first of all, checkpoint 1, you are right in front of a perch, so it makes it quite tricky, especially since that's like a raised perch. So of course, higher ground being quite important when it comes to firefights in Splatoon. If you go the high ground, you have the advantage. But yeah, it's like, so then from like trying to get the points down, if you didn't get picks beforehand, it can be quite tricky. And then once you get up onto the perch for checkpoint 2, you've then got to contend with like that one corridor, if you like, of just people just absolutely coming through. And then of course you you need to remember you've got mid to think about as well, where you could get some potential flanks coming from behind. So it's quite a tricky one to get through those first 2 checkpoints, I'd say, on this tower control.
Yeah, KOs don't usually happen on tower control and reveal unless a team is very dominant. So it's gonna be a very interesting one to see both of these 2 teams do at it. Obviously, Conroe wasn't on this team when they fought earlier though, so you also don't know if that will have anything to do with the adjustments that it will be between these 2 teams. So honestly, I don't know if we'll see another 3-0 set for Splattershore here, especially considering the fact that, like I said, Conroe is a force to be reckoned with at the best of times. So you never know. That the one-player switch could prove to be everything that they need, but we're going to find out as both of our teams get themselves set and ready to go. It will be Splattershore Riders who will be popping up as the yellow team first, and it will be Awesome Team who will be popping up in the blue. So both teams are now getting themselves set and ready to go. And in fact, no sooner have I said that, Splattershore again fully locked in. You feel like they are just always going to be playing the same weapons here. Like, some teams will like switch it up every now and then, but Splattershore Riders, it feels like, are just always in, accompanying that wonderful splatling that they have.
Yeah, and for this one, it's going to be fun. It just seems like if you've got a good for certain, in certain teams, if you got a good core, if you got a good synergy with your weapons, then why change? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, as they say in America and other places too. But
Yes.
but you know what I mean. It's like, as you were saying, it's like you can really strategize and dig down. So like pick certain weapons for certain maps, even certain mode combinations. But yeah, at the end of the day, if it works, it works. So good on Splattershore Riders, is what I'm saying, for sticking for the same setup.
And we'll see if it pays off for them. And we're going to have a Kenzagal coming in with that as well. The Spatterscope, we got an Aerospray making an appearance as well, alongside the Kenza Dualies and that Octo Shot. So already, both of our teams making their way across that designated path, getting themselves into position and ready to confront that all-important tower. Conroe going for the 1v1 very early on and gets it as well. Can they get themselves a double splat on the platform? They built the Booyah Bomb to give themselves a little bit of protection. No, they cannot get that second splat, but again, good push. It means that Carrot can get into position, thinks about going for the anchor, does start to go onto the tower, gets themselves 3 points on the board, and then quickly realizes they're the only ones left and retreats wisely.
Yep, and it looks like we're going to see Splattershore quickly fighting back and passing that 3 points as they come up to checkpoint 1 right here. But that Stingray is going to give them a few problems, as one of their teammates say 2, 3. Wow, nothing is the only one left, and it's looking a bit tricky right here as they fall back, and now Awesome Team are on the offense again.
Yeah, not surprising in the slightest. Conroe going to get that platform all the way up. Lead has been taken. They're going to try and go for the hit, but unfortunately 2v1 not going to quite go their way this time around. They'll take it to 73, but it looks like that will be the end of that push for the time being. Back the way it goes. Still a fair amount of Awesome Team still up though. The Stingray is going to come out, so that's a dangerous place to be popping Stingray, but crucially, it's a trap, and Icy is going to be able to be on hand to quickly take them down and actually keep the advantage in their favor.
Yeah, good play from Icy right there, as the Awesome Team try their best to push up. Now, very nice pick from Carrot on Cyber. And he's now looking at that tower because he can see someone is trying to, I believe that's the Tentatek for Splattershore. Oh, but here comes nothing out, and they've pushed right back into mid. Lots of just no team, we're at the halfway point, no team has managed to break past that first checkpoint so far.
No, not yet. 73 to 85 as we rapidly approach the start of the second half of this match, and Icy just respawning back in. But again, It is going to be the shot that's going to go down. The Splatterscope goes down as a result, and that's that big old long range. But the Splatling is down as well, so both losing out their range. And it's Conroe with the 1v1 victory over Cyber for the time being. It's a very small lead, and you kind of want to make sure you break that first checkpoint to at least give yourselves that little bit of extra breathing space. And a really good shot from the Inkjet with Conroe in mind again. We're rapidly approaching the 2-minute mark there at the checkpoint again. Unfortunately, Sky was occupied. It did not see Conroe coming in the slightest. Booyah Bomb will force a lot of them off that time. In fact, it's only Conroe left. Gets the 1v1, and they could try and solo this checkpoint on their own. So they've got help coming, but they might just break this checkpoint, and they do.
Yes.
Well held from Conroe.
Very well played from Conroe. Just trying, just holding back there, waiting for his teammates to rejoin him, and crucially getting past that first checkpoint. And here they come now onto the second checkpoint. 5, 4, 3, 2. Are they going to break past it? Yes, they do. And just like that, the awesome team is just pushing through right here with their biggest push so far.
Easily their biggest push so far. They're finally losing members. Once again, it's just Conroe left, and I think this time around Conroe realizes they're gonna wait for the rest of their team to come back in, and unfortunately it goes down to a wayward grenade. Really good call, and that is gonna very much capitalize on that. With that, there's no doubt Splattershore will get it back towards the center. They've got a minute to try and pick on down this 50-point gap that they have to now go through, set by the awesome team.
Yeah, not much time left here, but it's still possible for Splattershore riders to pull it back. They just need the ground and a few picks here and there, and they might be good to go. And specials, of course, as we see the Booyah Bomb come out here. Little stray Splat Bomb on the tower, but that's not going to stop him now, as we see Nothing in Sky just trying to get past the first checkpoint. They do, thankfully. We see a teammate go down. Conroe pushing on tower. There's only one left at the top, and Conroe with that Inkjet, I think they might successfully push it. No, you have Sky with that last second, it seemed, last second defense, and it's still going for Splattershore.
Yeah, I was surprised to see it still go at this stage, and then it's going to go into overtime. Oh, will it? Because now there's only 2 left, and that is a really dangerous place for AKD to be in. They're going to lose the one, and that will be that. There's the Splatling on the tower still, though, but there's only so much they can do up close and personal. It's really more of a ranged weapon, and against the 3 of awesome team that were lingering around, they were not going to be able to win that. Commiserations, but it is going to be awesome team who lead by 1-0, and that is just unbelievable. Carrot with 15 splats with the Splatterscope.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic from Kara right there. You could see they were getting lots of really good picks, and I think that is one of the reasons why they managed to get such a good push as they did, like after the halfway point where there was just a sort of stalemate, if you like. Neither team could really get past the first checkpoint, and then once awesome team got past that first checkpoint, they just absolutely went for it, and they got up to the 32 mark, if I recall correctly. But that was enough. They had some solid defense, a really good effort from Splattershore to try and push back, which they did. They took it down to the wire towards the end in overtime, just trying to survive. But unfortunately, the defense from awesome team was just solid enough to hold them back.
With that being said, we move rapidly on to matchup number 2. Rainmaker Sturgeon Shipyard. Again, another stage we haven't really seen today at all, and it's going to be Rainmaker. This is going to be a very interesting combination, considering the fact the amount of ways you can take this Rainmaker. You've got the wonderful little hop to the left-hand side, and even more spicier hop if the bridge is currently up to go all the way up inside of that higher platform. Then obviously you've got the middle route with the little ramp, and then the far right-hand side as well, which you can ink up that mini wall and go that way. There's a lot of different strategies you can make use of in this map mode combination.
Yes, indeed, and it's going to be interesting to see which way both teams go. Of course, you got, I'd say, the fastest route is the left-hand side route, but its Alliterate requires 2 jumps. But then again, the most direct route is just going straight and then left. But you can have lots of enemy fire there. So yeah, just have to see how it goes.
Yeah, the adjustments going up from both sides of the field. We've got a foil squeezer coming on in to go alongside that Splatling, so it's not the only range to on their side of the field. Meanwhile, Junior, Julies are back. They've got a Splatling of their own over there, and of course the Carbon Roller Deco.
Yes, indeed, that carbon could come in handy when it comes to getting the picks that they need to push. And then you've got the foil squeezer as well, I believe, for Splattershore riders. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out with the bubbles.
Yeah, they're already trying to. Yeah, they've just spotted the roller all the way up there. Now they're being forced all the way back, and Carrot is just on a roll here. And guess what? Whilst they're all busy trying to get Carrot out of the equation, Conroe just picked up the Rainmaker and pretty much got them pretty much at the halfway mark. The Inkjet is now coming firing on in, and Carrot is going to get taken out as a result. There's nowhere else for Conroe to go at this stage, but they're still going. Shockingly, they're still going. The 2 pre-op bombs cancel each other out, and Conroe is stuck in the middle of it. But somehow Conroe went from being, well, they're pretty much going to go down on the grades to getting it further in, down to 37 for that first push.
Yep, with Rainmaker, you got to push it while you can, and that's certainly what Conroe did for the Awesome team. And at such an early stage, it's important as well, you know, for your mentality's sake, because now all the pressure is on Splattershore to clap back, basically.
Clap back with a vengeance. That's exactly what they're going to do. The Deco is the only one left as everybody starts spawning back on in. Everybody is taking the right-hand side. Everybody wants a piece of the mini wall. The first push takes it to 68, and the Rainmaker shield's going to catch them. Oh, it's Rainmaker Rule 1. That's too close to that shield. It will absolutely ruin your day. And it is going to be a reset back towards the middle. 68 to 37, and crucially, it's Splattershore who picks it back on up, but Carrot's having none of it.
No, siree, we see a trade right there, and Awesome team just pushing up, and Carrot is going to come back in. I'm wondering if they're going to go for a little flank again. We'll have to see. And then for the Rainmaker as well, looks like they were thinking about going to the left-hand side, but unfortunately, that push gets stopped quite fast. Carrot as well, making good use of the burst bombs as well, which is interesting, you know, for the short range. But it's really nice if you want to pick someone off from afar.
Yeah, it's a good little tag damage, forces them to get out of their position. And obviously, especially if you've got teammates who just need to just tap them just like a couple more times, and you pretty much got yourself a splat on the card. Inkjet trying to duck and weave, and unfortunately Icy again having none of that. The Rainmaker is in their control. They have the player advantage. It looks like they're going to try and commit to this left-hand side. They slipped again, though, on that box. It seems like they had more favorability on the right-hand side of the map than they do the left.
Looks like it, and we see some bubbles coming out here on the right-hand side, though it is a little bit far from the Rainmaker, but I think that was just to take out the dualies there. And now, with armor on, will Splattershore riders push back? I think they will. Oh, but I say that the bomb could have easily taken them out there. It's like Splattershore is pinned in their own base, if you like. They need to just try and get some ground back in mid and a few picks before they can push back here.
Yeah, the Splatling is at least down, and Icy is in no man's land there. They're surrounded by all of them, and yet somehow it's Splattershore who lose the Rainmaker again. Carrot just does not want to go away from this middle ground, and as long as that Deco is there, here come the other bombs, and nothing again, caught out by the midst of it all. They may take up the Rainmaker again, but again, they're the only ones left and quickly get taken out of the equation. 45 seconds left on the clock. It's currently 37 to 68 in the favor of Awesome Team, who are looking to double their lead. And I think they know full well they don't really need to touch this, but that could be their undoing, because that was a double splat right there for AKD, and they reclaimed the Rainmaker with 30 seconds to go.
And now they're going to push hard. You got Cyber falling behind them. Oh, but Awesome Team just managed to stop it in time. We do see a Bria bomb coming out though, and now Cyber's going to go for it again. Conroe just standing above them, firing down, and we see all 4 of them together. That might be a little risky as the Rainmaker goes down, 2 of them down 3, and that could well be it. We'll have to see. There's still 1 alive. Rainmaker's shield is not getting popped though, and that is going to be game right there.
Yeah, Sky was the only one left, and pretty much the entirety of Awesome Team was surrounded that Rainmaker. There was no way the Zap was going to pop it on their own sum, and as a result, Awesome Team are going to double their lead. They lost 3-1 to Splattershore Riders in the semi-finals. They are now 2-0 up with 18 splats from Carrot. That deco is just... They were everywhere. Every single time the camera latched on to the carbon roller deco, Carrot was just making it work every single time.
Yeah, Carrot proven to be an awesome frontliner, as they are an awesome backliner too. Just absolutely doing a... I don't have to describe it, just great job, you know, awesome job. I'm trying to find synonyms for the word awesome, and nothing comes to mind. Yes, but no, seriously, Carrot is just on fire right now. Getting all the picks that their team needed to get that win and to get that push right there.
As a result, it is Splattershore who are looking defeat in the face at this point. A 2-game deficit between themselves and Awesome Team as we head into the Reef 4 Splat Zones. And honestly, at this stage, Awesome Team must be feeling like, yeah, we've got this clapback on the card. We can theoretically take this away from the team who beat us in the winner's side. Both teams are locked in and ready to go. Our splat zone match is up, and this is set point for a place in the grand final for Awesome Team at stake.
Yes, indeed, and we see a hero shot coming out from Splattershore right is the stylish splash shot right there. Meanwhile, for the Awesome Team, we got the Luna Blaster, Carbon Deco again, Kensa Doolies, and the Junior, which is coming out with armor straight away. That's 11 seconds, so fast and needed to get this initial push where they get the zone, but then instantly get counterattacked by Splattershore Riders as we see someone dancing in. Quite can't see who that is, but Awesome Team take it back and continue their push.
Interestingly enough, the Awesome Team's pretty much not really got much range at their disposal. A lot of this is short range. The Julies and the Roller will probably have some okayish range, but crucially, the only long-range weapon in this matchup is the Splatling on the side of Splattershore Riders, but this seems to be helping any time at the moment. The missiles will come out to Carrot, but again, they're underneath the bridge. It's only going to land on the bridge, and Carrot will just absolutely just stand there and just let the bridge take it. Splashdown will come up from Cyber. They'll try to put the pressure on. The rest of the team are there, and that is some splats finally going their way. It's just the Luna Blaster left, who immediately gets taken out. A wipe for Splattershore. It gives themselves a breath for the time being, and finally puts the zones in their favor.
Yes, indeed. And now we see a little firefight going on in mid, and a bit of a trade right there. It's the fight for the bridge at the moment. But then again, down below, Awesome Team are just coming out with the specials, and despite all that, Splattershore managed to hold it with, I believe that was a Booyah Bomb coming out then. And it's just a lot of contesting, and ultimately, Awesome Team do get it back. They do get it back, but it's so close now between Splattershore Riders and the Awesome Team. They've closed the gap.
Yeah, I think they've realized that if they've got the angle just right, the Splatling will just rain down on every single one of Awesome Team. There won't be much they can do about it. Again, the Splattershore Junior has special for like the briefest of moments and pops the armor straight away, but crucially, control is still in Splattershore's favor. 3 versus 3 means they're 3 versus 2 now as the Booyah Bomb comes up yet again. It looked like they were going to get more penalty points, but crucially, Splattershore have taken control again, and again they just lose one on the far left side. Nothing. It's just been that anchor trying to make sure that it doesn't go fully, and unfortunately it does. The penalty points are back.
Yes, that's unfortunate from there. And Sky and SKD were doing such a good job of defending as well. early on, but not to worry because they get it right back. I feel like we're going to be here for a while going back and forth. It's so it seems. We do have the Booyah Bomb coming out though. Maybe that will make life just that little bit easier for Splattershore riders to get the C. And we see 3 going down. That's going to be very important here as we see the time, not the time, the points ticking down, 59 and 58. I think they're going to get it. Let's see. We see Awesome Team coming in on the bridge right here. Yes, they do take the lead.
Yeah, they take the lead crucially. It's exactly what they need to do. They kind of kept Awesome Team in their spawn for the longest time. Now they're finally starting to get free. But again, they managed to pincer them down 2 versus 1. The Baller and the Bomb Rush all coming out at the same time. It's enough to put penalty points back on them, but they can't seem to hold it for too long. Awesome. They lose it out again. And as we go into 1 minute and 30 left on the clock, the zone just keeps tipping on both sides of the field. And now another exchange. Again, that lack of range does seem to be hurting Awesome Team, but they're still finding ways of going on through. But no sooner have I said that, the Booyah Bomb square between the 2 zone is going to take them out again.
Yeah, Awesome Team just trying to get in there, but now Splattershore just having a solid defense no matter how many times Awesome Team take the zone back. And now, I was going to say, just straight back to Splattershore Riders goes, but then we have Carrot who is just sharking in mid, although might have some trouble on their hands here as we have the T-Tech from, yes, the T-Tech Cyber pushing up from Splattershore Riders right here. And are they going to take it back? Yes, they are. And that is crucial in this last few seconds of the game right here.
Yeah, 30 seconds left on the clock, 35 to 51. They've got penalty points to go through, but that really won't be their concern. Their concern is just to try and hold on to the zone for as long as physically possible. And Carrot, unfortunately, being chased down, nothing they could do against Cyber. The 1v1 does not go in their favor. And again, 4 versus 2, Cyber is going to get tapped by the grenade. So 10 seconds, Conroe pops armor, and they know they have to go big right here, right now. Otherwise, we're going 2-1. The bridge is under control, so too is the zone. Will this be enough to make overtime? It will activate overtime. Conroe gets it in the nick of time, but now they've got to go through penalty points and their own points, and they're actually turning this back. It's a 2v2 situation here. The Junior and the Roller versus the Splatling and the T-Tech. They've lost control. They need to keep this under control. Carrot does go down. Booyah Bomb will come up onto the bridge. Is that going to be enough to stop it? It is going to be enough to stop it. Surely it will now. They have it.
Yes, they do. And that right there was such a fight towards the end from Awesome Team in overtime. You had Conroe just trying to cap the both zones, dancing around in the 2v2 situation. But AKD and friends right there from Splattershore Riders made sure to put a stop to it. And I've got to say, the defense from Splattershore Riders was just so good. That was just so important towards the end.
Also, 23 splats, I think my eyes were seeing there for AKD. They were all out with that one. And Conroe activated, like, what, 10 armors in there as well? It was just...
so many armors.
It was just...
Conroe the armor bot.
Age. And to be fair, massive props to Conroe. Like, right at the death, they knew they had to go in. They knew they had to do so no matter what. And to be able to take both zones in that kind of pressure, when the control has been with Splattershore for pretty much most of that match, that was very gutsy and a brilliant performance from everybody involved. But that means we go to Clamblitz Humpback Pump Track.
Yes, indeed, and another. It's almost like every mode on Humpback Pump Track is tricky, and then the same applies here with Clamblitz. It's not hard to get to the basket, but the challenge is in this one, in my opinion, just defending the basket, because it's like once you have like 2 picks, it could be very hard sometimes to stop a push if they just keep coming. And since mid is so wide open as well, you've got lots of ways of getting to the basket. So be interested to see how both teams handle that.
Yeah, this is going to be very nip and tuck here. An Awesome Team again. They're still on set point here. They had a 2-0 lead. Let's Splattershore no. The reverse sweep could be on the cards. We haven't seen a match 5 today. We might see one in a moment. It depends on how well Splattershore play this matchup. Clan Blitz on Pump Track is on the way. The Kenza Jr. and the NZ coming on out alongside that T-Tech and the Splatling naturally. The Octobrush coming on out naturally on the side of Awesome Team, so keep a very close eye on that. Of course, it's Octo with said Octobrush. They're going to be backed up by the Splatterscope as usual alongside that Kenza Pro, and the Dualies are both going to go down as well, unfortunately. But Octo is still slipping and sliding there. And I wonder if they definitely realized it there. In fact, put down a beacon and AKD says, no, you absolutely don't.
Yeah, and now we see nothing right here with 9 clams. A little bit risky because it's 1v1 and Conroe ends, even though he trades, does end up winning the battle right there with all those 9 clams dropping down. And Octo picking them right back up, hoping to recover them. But no, AKD is going to stop, and now they have 9 clams with an Inkjet in hand. But just not the ground. There's not enough ground for either side to really push at the moment. They got the clams Splattershore, but not the ground just yet. Push.
Not just yet, but give them time. The bubbles are going to come up, and again, it's mostly for defensive play. They really weren't trying to push with it. Octo gets the splat, but again, traded back and forth thanks to that torpedo. And AKD, they know if they get 1 clam, they'll get the power clam, but naturally, they will become a highlight to the entire enemy team. That's just what it do. But having said that, really good patience there from AKD. Gets themselves the splat on the board against Conroe. 4 versus 2. Octo is not going to win out that exchange, and surely this is a push that's now coming. But again, they managed to get the spawn in, and they missed it. Oh, they missed it. They tried to go for the throw, and it did not play out for them at all. Really good defense from Awesome Team, and they turned that straight back on its head.
There's that throw and arc we were on about earlier, striking again, just by a slither missing, and now Conroe getting the super climb in for the Awesome Team, and then some, but unfortunately does get outnumbered right there. Nevertheless, they've got the lead at the moment, the Awesome Team, and it's not over yet because Icy chucks in some clams too.
Yeah, points are points at this stage. As long as you get something on your first push, you'll absolutely take it. It's something to hold on to for the rest of the match if needs be. And as we enter the second half of this match, it is 62 to 100 in Awesome Team's favor. They've already had 1 good defensive run. They need to now do 2 if Splattershore come back at them, and especially since it seems like they're going to. AKD is making a beeline. The Stingray is not going to be able to take them out. The Junior is going to go down in the end, but so too has Conroe, and AKD finally is stopped at the hands of the Splattershore.
Look at a Carrot here, just in mid, scoping things out quite literally. And you got a super climb for Splattershore Riders right now. The bubbles could come in handy for making a path. Although, here comes Carrot picking them off. And again, Carrot proving that they're just as awesome at frontlining as backlining.
Yeah, that Splatterscope has been doing rounds on Splattershore so far, and I think that they kind of had like that little bit of a intimidation factor there where they realized the scope was probably going to be a thorn to be reckoned with, and it's exactly what has happened as Sliber into the center now. Another quick little throw right over them. The Booyah Bomb's going to go off, but thankfully Sliber not caught up in that. They have to keep moving here because the entirety of them know where they are, and this is going to be a dangerous position. Goes for the defense, at least gets Icy out of the way. Stingray is also going to come up, and Cyber realizes it's probably a race against time to try and get something, if anything, on the board. And unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Straight into the hands of Conroe and Icy, and that is surely going to be a despawn power clam.
Yeah, looks like but Octo trying to get that super climb in for the Awesome Team, not quite making it, didn't have the support. And we see the Booyah Bombs coming out as well. There's just not much time left at all for Splattershore here. If there's some defense,
gonna be some defense will be better than any, but unfortunately right now ICS is being an absolute nuisance. Finally they are taken down at the hands of the Splatling, but again there's only 23 seconds left on the clock, and whilst there are 2 power clams on the field, both of them are on the side of Awesome Team, which means there will not be an overtime unless Splattershore can get a hold of the clams. Now they have them. There's the power clam in question, and in fact they're gonna go straight forward. Cyber was a little brave going for that. With not quite a right of assistance, the Booyah's going to come out.
Seconds left.
But that is... Oh, is it going to be done? No, they went way too far away. Too far away on the throw again. Caught out. Into overtime we go. It could be a clean sheet for the Awesome Team, and it will be, because that will be that. Power Clam despawn, and Splattershore Riders cannot make it 2 for 2 against Awesome Team, because the Awesome will win it by 3 points to 1.
Very well played by the Awesome Team right there. They had a lot of control in mid for the majority of the game, and they were the only one who got the points on the board, got the clams in the basket. And commiserations to Splattershore Riders, they've done really well in this tournament, and just so unlucky with the clam throws, with the 2 super clam throws in that game.
Just how it be sometimes is like you feel like that desperation starts hitting where you know you've got to make it count, but unfortunately if you're not, that lovely little raised platform to right in front of the barrier, it's there for a reason. It's your basically like your guidance to say as long as you're about here you should be able to get the power clam. Unfortunately they just didn't quite make it to that point, and that's where the clam just fell short. Commiserations to them, but crucially for Awesome Team, it means that they go through to the grand finals, where they will now take on Chewits, who so far, well, they haven't dropped a single game. It's been a 3-0 over Squidnappers and a 3-0 over Splattershore Riders. Will they do another 3-0 sweep, or can Awesome Team take a game away from the reigning cup winners?
We shall see. I think it is possible for the way that Team Awesome have been playing tonight to, like, take it down to the wire. We just have to see, because Chewit's performance so far in, the last cup, this cup has just been unstoppable. That's the only way I can describe it. But I think the Awesome Team could well, take something back from them.
It remains to be seen. I don't think Chewits will be in any mindset to be dropping any games anytime soon. But again, this has been an interesting road so far. I mean, you look at what Awesome Team have had to go through for this. Obviously, they had their bye in the initial stages, just like with Chewits, they had a bye as well. So both of their first matches came in the semi-finals, and whilst Chewit won theirs 3 points to 0, Awesome Team, despite taking the game away from Splattershore in that matchup, lost 3-1. But then to come back from that, to be able to take out Affordable Alliteration by 3 points to 2, by the way, of course we missed the full set distance via a technical, but again, these things happen. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a 3-2, and then to go off of that to then beat Splattershore Riders, who obviously beat them in the semis by 3 points to 1, and actually just Uno reverse that entire scoreline into your advantage. Yeah, they've had some tough moments to get this far.
Yeah, and they should definitely, pat themselves on the back for it. And here they are in the grand finals now, up against Chewits, and yeah, they've just managed to turn the tide since that losers round 2.
Yeah, and so we get ourselves prepared for the grand finals. Do remember that this is a double elimination tournament because of the fact that a loss has not happened on the side of Chewits yet. It means that if they do lose this set, we will have a grand final reset. Again, best of 5s, but with a completely different collection of map mode combinations, but for the time being, we start here with Splat Zone's Mako Mark.
And this is going to be a highly contested one. It's important for the teams just to get to that zone as fast as they possibly can. Maybe have a flanker loop around and catch people out. And of course, you've got your anchor either on the box or just behind mid on that perch. So it'll be interesting to see which weapons each of these teams pick. Whether Chewits just sticks with the weapons that they previously used, or maybe they will change it up here. Who knows?
Well, we are about to find out as we prepare ourselves for the grand finals of the Inkfest Green Cup here at the Splatoon Community UK. Naturally, it will be Awesome Team in the blue, Chewit in the yellow, and already they are making a beeline for our wonderful, lovely little Splat Zone. We got that roller coming back out alongside the Splatling, the Dualies, and the Junior. Naturally, it is going to be the Dualies on the side of Chewit, who are the first ones to go down, and actually, the initiative goes to Awesome Team, but they hold on to it in the first 30 seconds. Will the answer, well, you can see what one of those wants to be like. Just immediately going straight on in, not giving them the time to really get themselves comfortable, and just like that, Chewit have already flipped it straight back into their attack.
Yeah, very good start from Awesome Team, but they need to be careful now and start defending here. Otherwise, the points are going to tick down, and it's going to be very hard to come back. So we'll see here if Karen Octo will push in on this left-hand side. Looks like Conroe's got the armor ready to go. Will they use it? I'm not sure. Just waiting for the right moment, it seems.
Always down to just like patience and when to deploy, but already it's still ticking on away. They got 4 points right at the start, but since then it's been all Chewit, and they are already past 75% there into the 10th now, and picked out of the sky with that one from the cover. But again, it was a trade, so it's still in their advantage, and they still have this completely on lockdown, and will take up the last of the jumpers, and that is already a quick start for Chewit.
Yeah, Chewit's still being as formidable as ever. I think even though, the Awesome Team managed to get, that quick start where they did get the zone for a little bit, Chewits just had the, just push back straight away, had the positioning. They just know when to do things at the right time. I did feel like, though, the Awesome Team did hold back on their specials a little bit. Maybe if they used them a bit sooner, they would have had a chance to push back, but who knows?
And now we start to work our way towards Manta Maria. Tower control time. Probably might see a Stingray. Maybe we'll see some missiles, but honestly, between these two, also don't be surprised if not much changes again. Chewits are fully locked in already. They know what combination they want to go with, and really, it's just a case of how in the world do Awesome Team manage to combat this, because the second Chewits took control, they never let up. They never allowed Awesome Team to come anywhere close to that zone. And you feel like that if they cannot find a way of being able to pull on the brakes, especially as we go into like the second checkpoint, for example, this could become a very hard one to come back from.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to certain players, maybe they could focus their efforts on picking off, like one player at a time. So if they have, say, IPS, for example, pushing up quite a bit, then focus on taking them out first and then, work their way to the back. But who knows? Let's see what they do here.
So away we go then. Custom Jewelry Squelchers will be coming up for Chewit. And alongside that Pro, they're going to have some decent range. Meanwhile, the Rapid Pro Deco on the side of Awesome Team coming up alongside that Carbon Roller Deco, who is unfortunately going to be the first one to be taken down. In fact, pretty much everybody bar the Dualies are down on the side of Awesome Team. and that is going to be a delayed wipe on the side of Awesome Chewits, already past the first checkpoint.
Wow, that is really swift right there from Chewits, and just trying to think of what Team Awesome could do really in this situation, because they're just absolutely unstoppable at the moment.
Yeah, it's like one spot after another. They're just consistently going all the way through. In fact, they're already just chilling there. Like one of the dualies was just sitting there, just not doing anything, waiting for the rest of the team to respawn back in. And that is going to be straight onto there. The Splat Grenade is going to get 2 of them out, but that, I think, is going to be that. They're only like 5 points away. And if Will is still there, Will gets another splat, make that 2. The Booyah comes up for good measure, but they don't even need to use it. It is Chewit on a roll. They do not want to be dropping the game anytime soon. It's 2-0 already, and that puts them on championship point.
Yes, indeed. They didn't waste any time at all in getting that knockout, it seems. And Team Awesome just didn't really have any chance after Chewits got the ball rolling to do anything. It's just the way Chewits just coordinates their specials. They've got that synergy with each other. They just seem to have it all.
And so it comes to this. Rainmaker Sturgeon Shipyard. 1 game away from going through this cup without conceding a single loss. Will they be able to do it, or will Team Awesome find a way of being able to turn this around? Like, we've seen this map and mode already, and it's already proved to be quite a frantic matchup when we saw it last time round. But now, well, Conroe and the Awesome team, they know full well they're going to have it all to do here, because let's be real here, if this pops in Chewits' favor, there's a very high chance they're going to go ahead and score these points. They want a pizza time, so the defense from Awesome has got to be on point here.
Yeah, Chewits going for the pizza time for the win, and it's up to Team Awesome to just stop it, basically, to make sure to just not go for the Rainmaker pickup and push, because that would be a recipe for disaster right there. Because they could easily counterattack and win it. So let's see what they do.
Let us see, indeed. Third match, it could be the final match. It is championship point for the side of Chewits, and away we go. And on Chewits do it. They're all sat at the podium.
They're going for the drip.
Oh my goodness me. They've allowed them to pop the Rainmaker shield, and then they've burst onto the scene. And is that going to be too much confidence, or do they know full well they'll be absolutely fine? Well, so far, that's 2 down on both sides of the field.
That's a wipe.
And that's a wipe now. They managed to pick it up for just a moment, but Chewit very quickly pop that into their favor, and they are already on the prowl. They're already taking it to the left-hand side, and the bridge has come down. There is still 15 seconds, so they could still get a 1-minute pizza, and in fact, that's 2 of them down already. They're making a beeline for it. That's going to be a 1v1 that might go in their favor, and it does. That's another wipe, and IPS isn't even swimming for it. They're just running. They're walking their way downtown, moving fast. Faces past it, that's another dunk. It's a clean shutout for Chewit, who just played with Awesome Team, just completely played with them. And that is going to be the cup victory for Chewit. That is 2 cups in a row. Pink Cup and Green Cup for Chewit. No problem at all.
I have never seen a lukewarm pizza time quite like that, where the opponents just let you get the pop and then completely wipe you out as you push. That was just something else. It just shows how confident Chewits were. You think they were insane, but it ended up working out. And yeah, congrats to them. Well deserved win in this cup.
Yep, indeed. And with that being said, it is going to be 1,000 Nintendo Gold points for each of the players that were a part of Chewits. Congratulations to them. That is 2 cups in a row for them to be victorious in. In second place, it is going to be Splattershore. It says Splattershore Riders. It is the awesome team, not Splattershore Riders. I don't know why it says that there, but there we go. Where the website's not loading completely for me. But yeah, awesome team with that second place. They did a phenomenal job. They managed to get revenge on Splattershore Riders, who beat them early on in the tournament. And as a result, Splattershore Riders finished in third this time around. A really good showing from everybody involved. But that is that. And now we turn our attention to the Yellow Cup, which will start November 6th. Those events will be running on the 6th, the 7th, the 13th, and the 14th, with the finals of that respective cup taking place on the 20th of November. The ladder matches themselves will be done off stream, so if you do want to sign on into it, please head on over to Splatoon Inkfest UK.co.uk. You'll see all of the information there and how to sign up from there. We've got our Discord server as well. Obviously, you are watching all of this happen here at the Splat Community UK channel. Feel free to drop us a follow so that you do not miss any other streams, not just for this cup, but for other events that we are doing in the future. And Louis, any last words from you? Well, first and foremost, thank you very much for being here.
No worries. I'm glad to have been commentating today. It's nice to get back into some Splatoon comedy. So thanks very much for having me. And yeah, just really enjoyed it. Congrats again to Chewits. Absolutely, formidable team. Proven again once again even why they're deserved of their cup victory. And well done to all the other teams as well. It's just really great seeing tournaments like this. I still enjoy watching Splatoon 2 as much as I enjoy playing it, and yeah, just GG's all. It's really fun watching and commentating today.
GG's all round, and you've been a great cast. It's been great to share the microphone with you. Do you have anything you want to plug?
I guess my Twitch, which is LouisBoy124. I'm hoping to start streaming again in the next couple of weeks. It's been a while since I'd stream stuff on my channel, and yeah, just hoping to get back into it. Well, I play games awfully for the world to see, but it's all good fun, all chill.
Awesome, and I seriously wish you all the best with that. Hopefully it will be a wonderful time for you. And as for myself, you can find me on all social media at TK_Layla, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. I'm pretty much on there. I stream 4 days a week, doing some wonderful VTubing action, playing a variety of games. As of late, it has been Splitgate, which has been a lot of fun to just mess around with. But my love for Splatoon never does waver, and it's always great to be able to commentate and host and bring you all of the action of these wonderful events. It's not just here, it's a variety of other groups and organizations throughout the past few years, and it's always amazing to be able to share a microphone on the platform with you all. But that is for then, and now we look towards the next cup. Take good care of yourselves, my friends. Be safe to each other, be kind to each other, and crucially, do remember to stay as fresh as you can as we wait ourselves for the next cup of the Splatoon Inkfest competition in association with Gfinity. Thank you all. Take care.
Take care all. See you next time.